for rest.
Earth Justice is a national legal nonprofit defending the environment and people's health. Earth Justice is fighting to save lives, protect our climate, and strengthen our economy through the shift to zero emissions. If clean air matters to you, visit us at earthjustice.org. Earth Justice, because the Earth needs a good lawyer.
Parenting is hard. Technology can make it harder. The Family Media Plan developed by the American Academy of Pediatrics helps make it easier. Go to healthychildren.org/media plan today to create the media plan that's right for your family.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
They score!
WCMC-FM HD1 Holly Springs.
Backhand chance, Blake, puck still loose. Blake settling it, making a play, working out in front, knocked away to Nikishin. He scores! Alexander Nikishin with the loose change, and he lets it fly. And Carolina has that 2-0 lead. Aho with it. Carolina in. Aho drives. Game over! Sebastian Aho wins it in overtime. And what a relief for the Canes to come up big as Aho knocks it home.
It is the Adam Gold Show. What's up? Hi, everyone. It's not nearly as cold here as I was told it was going to be. I thought I was stepping into, like the Arctic Circle. That's what I was told. Spent the last 4 days, sort of. Well, we weren't there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. No, Monday, 4 days.
Yeah.
In Arizona.
I know. Well, first we'll welcome back.
Youth soccer took us to Arizona. So that was cool. That was cool.
Youth soccer's taking you all over the place.
Yeah, we Arizona twice. Same place, same hotel, same Velvet Taco. For those people familiar with Scottsdale, ritzy, very ritzy Scottsdale. Thank you for that. Yeah, it was good. It was. We had kids had a good time. That's really all that matters. Hope everybody had a good weekend. You braved the snow.
I know.
Once again, for some of us, not all of us, for some of us, a little bit of a letdown.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, we talked about the dome yesterday.
Right? Yeah, we have over the triangle. There's a dome.
Yes.
But with that said, there are people within the triangle, because it's not just Raleigh or Wake County, who did get a lot of snow and are experiencing some, otherwise difficult travel. My son's school's closed. I think Wake County was closed again today. So we'll see what happens going forward. Hopefully everybody get back to normal. Tomorrow is supposed to be a little warmer today.
Yeah, I know. Y'all be careful out there, because I'm one of those counties that's out there. And we got a lot, but we still have trees every now and again. They haven't knocked those completely down yet.
Yeah.
So that's shading some things, which is causing, a little mini ice rink in the road.
Yeah, it certainly can. And the mornings are still super cold.
Yes.
So on the plane last night, I watched, thankfully, North Carolina and
Syracuse.
I watched the game on the plane.
Oh, there you go.
So yeah, shouts to you, Delta, for providing that. Just push a button, boom.
Nice.
Basketball. And I watched it without the sound. Not that I'm not making an editorial statement, so I didn't hear anything that either Dave O'Brien or Jay Williams were saying about the game. I do, because social media is everywhere. Apparently there were some who were not upset, but they were talking about what has happened to Syracuse. And I said this when I was watching the Syracuse-NC State game the other day. It's pretty alarming. If you grew up a Syracuse fan, you don't know anything other than competitive. Like, there were some years, obviously, that weren't as good, but competitive, nationally, you're playing for conference championships. You're playing for high seeding, NCAA, runs at Final Fours. Boy, did they look a long way away from that.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that game in a minute. The Hurricanes play tonight over at Lenovo Center against the Ottawa Senators, team we just played, 4 or 5 games ago.
Wonder if our friend Brad's going to be at the game.
Oh, I'm sure. I'll be scouting.
Oh, yeah.
Find out if Brad is if he's scouting today.
Yeah.
So, it's a big game. Only 2 more games left before the Olympic break, and this is the last home game. They'll be in New York against the Rangers on Thursday. It will be Brandon Bussey tonight. He just played Sunday against, who did we play Sunday? The Kings.
Mm-hmm.
He played against the Kings on Sunday. Only faced 13 shots.
Yep.
On Sunday. He'll play tonight. My guess is that it'll be Freddie in New York on Thursday, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, if you win tonight, you might want to go into the break putting your foot on the throats of the division.
Mm-hmm.
Just an opportunity. Who knows? Maybe even, I don't know if the Rangers can be mathematically eliminated, but they are, whoo boy.
Yeah.
They are in a bad
situation
way right now. All right, a lot of stuff to do. We're going to talk basketball. We have the Super Bowl coming up. I don't know if you know this, on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, Super Bowl Sunday. We got that. All sorts of stuff. Let's start.
Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here.
All right.
Let's get it started.
Couple of things about the Super Bowl quickly, and then I want to get to the Roger Goodell state of the NFL stuff. And by the way, we're going to play my a quick interview with Rod Brind'Amour coming up in about 10 minutes. So, even though we're not supposed to know, we apparently do. We know that Bill Belichick didn't make the Hall. And now we also know that Robert Kraft, the owner of the New England Patriots, was also not a first ballot Hall of Famer. I have thoughts about owners in the Hall of Fame. I'm not saying that owners can't be in the Hall of Fame, but I think today owners are really just rich guys, buy a team, and if you're smart enough to stay out of its way, you're probably a good owner. You got to hire the right people. And for the most part, I think Robert Kraft has hired the right people. I don't know how that qualifies for the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But, okay, I don't know. Yes, his team won a lot of Super Bowls. They have a chance to win a third Super Bowl with 3 different, it's 2 head coaches would have won if Mike Vrabel wins. But to reach the Super Bowl with 3 different head coaches, because they got there with Bill Parcells, obviously Bill Belichick, and now Mike Vrabel. And it would be 3 different quarterbacks as well, but whatever. But that's that. I just don't know what your ownership did to really facilitate that. Now, there are certain owners who are legit pioneers. So when we're talking about Lamar Hunt, who helped found the AFL, which became part of the NFL, now the AFC, may have a trophy named after him. So if we're talking about owners like that, Al Davis, a Maverick owner who really started as a head coach, really strange, but Jerry Jones is a Hall of Famer. Why?
Yeah.
I wonder how many people would like that back.
Yeah.
You know what? He's not that good. So it's just a weird thing
Just
for me.
feels like giving a parent an award when your kid does well in sports at school.
Does he have a baseball? Do we have a Robert Kraft football card?
Right.
I just don't know. Anyway, Bill Belichick should have gone in, but he didn't. They'll both go in next year, I'm sure, but whatever. Mike Vrabel was asked at opening night yesterday if this was a must-win game.
Oh, boy.
I don't know if Mike Vrabel was medicated or not, but he legitimately just answered the question like he expected it.
Wow.
He says, "Yeah, we treat every game like a must-win game. Since I'm here, I'm the head coach. Every game's a must-win game." He didn't go.
Yeah.
Say what again?
My face would have deceived me in that moment.
Well, I don't know how you don't react that way.
No.
What? What? Really?
Excuse you?
That's your question? And these opening night questions that come in, it makes me laugh. Not the questions. The questions are whatever okay, who cares? The people that get angered by these questions. It's really supposed to be more like Entertainment Tonight-ish than it is NFL Network-ish. I don't know who has to explain this to everybody, but opening night was never designed. We have people like will show up in wedding dresses and ask questions. Remember who was it that showed up in a wedding dress that tried to propose to Tom Brady?
Oh boy.
I don't know, however many years ago, but it's supposed to be a goof. Come on, people. Get on the ball. All right, to Roger Goodell's. Oh, by the way, here's Goodell yesterday on whether or not Bill Belichick deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
We are not involved in it. Listen, Bill Belichick's record goes without saying. Same with the Patriots and Robert Kraft, who's also a candidate. They're spectacular. They've contributed so much to this game, and I believe they'll be Hall of Famers.
Yeah, they will be Hall of Famers. The beginning of that was Ben Volen, who's been a guest on this program before, as a national NFL writer for the Boston Globe, asked the question because Roger Goodell sits on the board of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And as a board member, he doesn't have a vote, but as a board member, they approve those people who do vote. So the question essentially was whether or not his presence as a board member, whether he could have some influence over not who gets in, but who votes. And look, this has come under some heat because Bill Belichick did not get in. Because honestly, there's no real justification for it. I will stop short of this being a national tragedy, though. He'll get in next year. There's no doubt he'll get in next year. All right, Dan Graziano from ESPN on Hall of Fame voting.
I don't know how you decide whether an owner's a Hall of Famer or not. Kraft surely will get in at some point. But, I mean, the fact that Belichick didn't get enough votes to get in on the first ballot makes the entire process a joke.
Yeah.
The Pro Football Hall of Fame voting process is insanely stupid and should be overhauled completely, and this has been true for a very long time. The fact that only 50 people vote, the fact that they do so in a secret meeting where they're penalized if it gets out, like enough already. I voted for the Baseball Hall of Fame for years. Yeah. That process took all kinds of abuse. It is insanely more democratic and fair than what goes on in the pro football. So look, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, it's an injustice, Kraft, but everyone now knows what a joke this is because they didn't put Belichick in, and that's got to be one of the most open and shut cases of all time. So I don't care about their rules and regulation. Who can change it?
You can't change. They changed Heisman voting, and there's like over 1,000 Heisman voters. Like there's so many voters that I can be one. Yes. That's how many. Anybody can be a voter if I'm a voter in that. But the NFL, the Pro Football Hall of Fame, it is a small group. And basically, you have to. Somebody advocates for you. I saw Peter King say that Torrey Holt wasn't a Hall of Famer. He said the same thing about Reggie Wayne. Look, they're both Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
I happen to think that Torrey Holt was the best wide receiver on those Rams teams. Isaac Bruce is already in. I'm not saying he wasn't a Hall of Famer. My opinion, and I thought this well before I became friends with Torrey Holt, that he was better than Isaac Bruce. Different, but better. Reggie Wayne wasn't better than Marvin Harrison, but also great. And maybe he was great because of Marvin Harrison. But he wasn't better than Marvin Harrison. So I think you can make the argument that he was wide receiver 2 on that team, although Wayne had a career beyond Harrison. I mean, come on. Torrey Holt's a Hall of Famer. Whether he gets in this year or not, I don't know. He's been on the ballot. He's been a finalist a whole bunch. At some point, when you're continuously a finalist, you go in. Luke Kuechly's on the ballot, right?
Yes.
I think he's going to get in.
Me too.
I think Kuechly will get in this year, and I am here for it. All right, one more. There are a number of things I want to talk about that Roger Goodell discussed yesterday, but let's keep it like pretty basic because we've already heard the rumblings that 18 games is coming, and it's almost to the point where everybody accepts that we are going to have 18 games. Here's the commissioner.
Well, we're fortunate we have quite a long CBA in front of us, but I think we have not had any formal discussions about it, and frankly, very little, if any, informal conversations. I've heard people talk about it in the context. It is not a given that we'll do that. It is not something that we assume will happen. It is something that we want to talk about with the union leadership. As you know, they're going through a transition, and hopefully that'll get solidified this spring. And as they determine their priorities, we are doing the same on the ownership level so that when we get together, we can address these issues together. And we were going to talk about the pluses and minuses. When we moved from 16 to 17, we had that conversation. I think that went quite smoothly. But the challenges will be different here a little bit. And it'll depend on a lot of factors, including safety of the game. What other changes can we make to the game that are going to continue to improve that from a safety standpoint, but also a competitive standpoint? Should we have 2 buys? What are the roster sizes? There are a number of issues that need to be discussed with the players, and that I'm sure will be a focus, or at least a component of the next CBA.
All right. I just wish the commissioner wouldn't lie. Because 18 is going to happen. As part of the CBA, they can simply say 18. So it's going to happen. And all that safety stuff, you can't make the game safer. Sorry. You just can't. It's a collision sport. It's all of it. It's all collision. Everything about it. All you can do is take care of the players. I guess there are certain things. Look, if they really wanted to crack down on the physicality of it, they could. But the physicality is part of the selling point of the sport. So I just don't understand how you're going to do that. But anyway, 18, please, come on. We know 18 is inevitable. Because your argument for it is so transparently false that you're just trying to justify it. Well, our fans keep telling us that they don't really want preseason. They'd rather have regular season games. As though the preseason games in any way, shape, or form resemble regular season games. Only the uniforms do. The way the games are played, it doesn't. The people playing it, these guys aren't. Luke Kuechly today would play like 2 series of an entire preseason.
Yes.
That's it. We're done.
Yeah.
See you later.
Yeah. Gonna get some Gatorade.
Yeah, I mean, come on. So it's not the same. These are false equivalencies. All right. I'll tell you what. Let's take we're not taking a break. We're going to bring in my conversation with Rod Brind'Amour here. Canes play the Ottawa Senators tonight. Now, I've got a bunch of Hurricanes things I want to get to today, but what happened Sunday against the LA Kings was a bounce back from not just the game in Washington on Saturday night, which was poor, but really a run of games in which Carolina managed winning and getting points without playing their best. And as I started the conversation, it had to feel good to just get back to your game.
Yeah, it was a good game, start to finish. We had a couple, you're going to have a couple mistakes, and they capitalized. But other than those couple, I mean, it was one of the least chances against we've given up all year, and it wasn't a boatload of chances for us, but we had definitely enough to put that game well in advance. So I liked everything about it.
I talked to Sebastian about it, and I said, after the fact, do you go, how did we not score on some of those in the second period?
Well, they had that one opportunity where all three of them had basically an empty net and somehow it didn't go in, but that happens.
Yeah, he said lucky skate by Drew Doughty. Kept that one out.
Yeah.
Power play, only had 2 chances. First one scored, right? Unless I have the games mixed up. Maybe I do. But Jordan scored in the power play, just like you draw it up.
Yeah.
And when you finally got to the second one, it looked like
it was good.
Looked like it was good.
You're gonna. The penalty kill is going to do their job, and
right.
so you're going to have those moments. And then it's what do you do when you get your opportunities? And I thought, obviously, the first one was just like you said. If you win a draw clean, you're going to get an opportunity. And if you run, you got to make the play. You got to make a good pass. You got to those things that have kind of hurt us a little bit, I think, over the years. But that was dialed in there, and then we had a game plan. We knew where to attack, and when we did it, we actually. We had some other opportunities. So there's nothing really, there's no big secrets going on. Everybody's trying to do the same things. You got to execute. You have to make those plays. You have to, when you have the opportunity, it can't be a turnover. And, when we seem to do it right, we're fine.
You ever get tired of talking about Jordan Stahl and his impact and Jacob Slavin and his impact?
No, because if we're talking about them, that means we're winning.
Right.
Like that's they're doing their job, we're winning, and they don't necessarily have to be on the score sheet because that's not always where that's the impact is seen. Right, it's in the wins.
Yeah. The another guy that wears an A. First of all, I was surprised he was still on the ice in overtime, minute and a half in.
Mm-hmm.
But also the way that him and Seth Ghost, when they fought to get the puck back.
I love that you bring that up because it wasn't a great shift. Like it was good that we started with everything you draw up. You throw your best face-off guy out. He wins a draw. You get those guys out. You get your offensive guys. And then they lost it a couple times, but they fought and got it back. And then, do what they do. Put it in net.
Yeah, he got a little. He said he got lucky on the shot too.
But you got to shoot. You got to have that mentality. And I think sometimes those guys overcook it. Looking for the pretty play, and I don't know that that's really what they should be doing. I think they should be more, like you said, get the work, get that opportunity, and take it, and see where it goes.
He's a hard worker, isn't he, Sebastian?
He can be, and you got to keep on him, right? Because that's when he's at his best. And like I say, it's hard when we're asking him to do the 200-foot game. We're asking him to be that kind of player. That's hard work all the time, and he needs to be reminded, just like everybody else. But when he's on like that, that's the guy we know and love.
All right, Brandon Bussey again tonight. I didn't get a chance to ask Sebastian this. I could have, but we had no idea what he was going to be like when you got him.
Yeah.
No idea how much you were going to use him. Right. Probably didn't think you were going to use him much at all. What does this say about him?
Well, it's all about him. I mean, it's, we can, you give Paul credit, the goalie coach, and Muzz, they definitely were talking about him many years ago, right? Like his name came up, but it was never just an opportunity to really go get him. And when it came up, it was like, let's just see what this guy's about. And then now he shows up, it's on him. That's an opportunity, it's the old story. You got to be ready for your opportunity and then take advantage of it. It's how many people have been given opportunities and then, they don't take advantage of it, and why? Because they really haven't put the work in. They haven't been ready for that opportunity. He's obviously been waiting for this opportunity, and so far it's been obviously pretty good.
All right, last game at home before the break. You got 2 before the break. Are these games harder to play?
Yeah. I mean, it's been that way, I think, for the last few games, and we had a good one the other night. I think that was because we had such a bad one the night before. You just, and you hope you're not sliding back into that mode because you got to be focused. Because I know the team we're playing really knows the importance of the games, and it's for us. It's that next step. It's just another step on this journey. We got to be willing to take it.
It's the head coach Rod Brind'Amour, Canes and the Senators tonight. Just after 7 o'clock start. If you are listening locally, or even if you're not, you can always go to the 99.9 The Fan app and stream the pregame show. The Storm Watch starts at 6:30. Real quick, before we break, Will Brinson's going to join us on the other side. The Tar Heels won last night. Don't accuse me of knowing what the final score was, because I don't remember the final score. I didn't keep copious amounts of notes on the plane.
87-77.
I'll take your word for it. 87-77. That was like 3 different games. The first half, Carolina was better. Syracuse looked like they were not really, they almost looked like they were playing in a different league, like a lower league. And then they just sort of kind of scrapped and clawed their way to a pretty tight game with about a minute and a half, 2 minutes to go before halftime. And Carolina just went foot on the accelerator and scored 12 straight points. Now, Syracuse hit a 3 at the horn, kind of not a miracle because it wasn't like full court, but, it was a pretty long, desperate 3 that just trimmed 3 points off that lead. But that stretch right before the end of the half gave Carolina a pretty big, comfortable cushion going into the second half. And then they just blew Syracuse away to the point where I was watching the game wondering if Syracuse ever practiced. Carolina was so much better. And I don't want to make this all about Syracuse because it's not. Carolina is really good. And they were cruising last night. And I think with about maybe 7-8 minutes left, they just shut it down. Like they were done. He had I think it was a 31-point lead with maybe 8 or 9 minutes left. And I thought there's we're good.
They were thinking about cookout at that point.
Something like that. Yeah, or timeout in Chapel Hill.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, that game got to 6 points. I was stunned. Carolina could not stop Syracuse from scoring. The Orange kept playing, and Carolina didn't. So we're going to hear from Hubert Davis later. But I wouldn't care. I know what he's probably going to say, that I didn't like the way that game was played at the end because we stopped playing. When you have a 31-point lead, like midway through the second half, you can almost afford to stop playing. Although I have seen dumber comebacks. Anyway, my takeaway from that game was, Syracuse not very good, but Carolina is. Especially if you're going to get performances from Dixon and Trimble, and then the Bogovac, 3 minutes of, I am just going to drop kick this ball into the basket. He was awesome. I thought Jaron Stevenson, he played 2 great minutes in the first half, and he was responsible for the separation right before the end of the half. Carolina's got a good team, but you probably knew that. Will Brinson on the other side. We will talk Super Bowl. We will talk state of the NFL with Roger Goodell. Will Brinson joins us next.
Because your fantasy football team needs all the help it can get, the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
Darian Mensah's relationship with Duke football is over, but the ripple effects from his situation will be felt for a long time. Did Duke do enough in the courts, with the lawsuit, with the settlement, to make other players in the future rethink going back on a contract? That's what it's all about, and we'll see if it had the effect.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
It's bow time.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $6.99.
Leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $6.99.
So crispy.
So crispy.
And juicy.
And juicy.
So much flavor.
So much.
Stop it. What are you doing?
What, you expect me to get this delicious deal and not say anything?
You're unbelievable.
You're unbelievable.
With a boldly seasoned leg and thigh, choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea, it's a deal so good it's worth repeating. So eat and repeat while it lasts. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Dine in, drive through, or tap your favorite delivery app and have Bojangles come to you. Satisfy your craving for flavor right now with Bojangles 2-piece dinner. 2 pieces of Bojangles dark meat chicken, your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and iced tea for just $6.99. That's right, just $6.99 for limited time at participating Bojangles. What are you waiting for? When you're hungry, it's always Bo time.
Low mortgage rates are back. Listen, Loan Pronto has fixed rate mortgages with APRs as low as 4.89%, lowest in years. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Smart homeowners are taking advantage of this while they can. If you got stuck in a 6% loan, you can lower your payment big time, or you can keep your primary mortgage intact and get cash out of your equity with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. One homeowner just got $250,000 out of their home. They paid off all their credit cards and some car loans and cut their monthly expense by $2,000. Call now and see what option works best for you, but don't miss the big rate drop of 2026. Ask about new home loans, VA loans, full cash out refis, or their famous Rapid Equity Loan. You can close in less than 2 weeks, and you may be able to skip your next 2 house payments altogether. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com for your free instant home appraisal with no hard credit pull. Call 919-381-1760 now, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166171, APR for well-qualified buyers. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
There's so much to love about North Carolina, but we all want more. More boundless views, more pristine scenery, more wildlife, more adventures, and more clean roads to get there. But to get more, we have to do less. Less littering, that is. Properly disposing of waste is never a waste of time. It leads to a more enjoyable environment for much longer. So, when traveling in North Carolina, make it your nature to trash your trash. Leave it more beautiful than when you found it. And we will all have more reasons to love NC. Litter less, get more. For more on the 7 outdoor NC Leave No Trace principles, visit OutdoorNC.com. Sponsored by the North Carolina Association of Broadcasters and Visit North Carolina, and part of the Economic Development Partnership of North Carolina, in cooperation with this station.
Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. When the weather warms up, you're going to see a lot of motorcycles out there on the road, including myself. And if you're injured in a motorcycle accident, contact Law Tigers at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS even before you get in touch with the insurance company. Law Tigers understands what your bike and your gear are worth, and they understand what it's like to go through an accident. Your case evaluation is always free, and they don't get paid a dime until your case settles. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle injury lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
This is Adam Gold.
He doesn't have many years to choose from.
No, and part of that was COVID. Nobody's picking COVID.
COVID was a great year.
Yeah.
Look, if you invested in Zoom,
oh, that was a good year. Yes.
You had a good year during COVID.
Yep.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. It is time. It is Super Bowl week. I know it started yesterday. I get it. I wasn't here yesterday. So for me, this feels like a Monday, especially because we're talking to Will Brinson, senior NFL writer, CBSSports.com. He sorts the Sunday pile. Seahawks, Patriots. Before we get to the actual game, your level of surprise that neither Bill Belichick nor Robert Kraft will be enshrined this summer in Canton, Ohio.
It is pretty high, right? You know, these are, look, the greatest coach of all time in NFL history. Nothing about his stint in Chapel Hill should take away from that, and certainly didn't. I'm just saying it didn't affect anything with the voters. And then, Bob Kraft is going for his 7th Super Bowl title as owner of the Patriots, which is, ridiculous. And, you add in all the work that Kraft's done with the labor deals.
Yeah, to me, that's why Kraft would get in more so than the Super Bowl.
Yeah, or the broadcast deals. I mean, this is a guy who's had a immense impact on the NFL. Dr. Nat has a really interesting article from last year about like the PR push to get him in and how it actually has turned some voters off. But I think the real problem here is ultimately the way that the voting happens. So there's like five, so like they changed, it used to be the candidates, the contributors, or would come up through a committee, subcommittee, and then they would get presented to the voters who would then vote yes or no on them. And this year it was, I believe, an option where there's 5 guys in total.
And you had to vote for 3.
You had to vote for 3, but you could only vote for 3. Well, the prevailing logic at this point, I think, is that there were some people who voted for Bob Kraft, and there were some people who voted for Bill Belichick, while also then like using their second and third votes on some of the senior committee, some of the guys who would have come from a senior committee, like older players who hadn't gotten in. And so, I think the thought process of your voters, like, all right, I'm voting for Bob Kraft. And I want to make sure I vote for these senior guys too, because they might not be back up and Belichick will get plenty of votes. And it's basically a split the baby deal where both guys got completely hosed by the voting process. And so probably not as sinister as we originally thought. We're like Bill Polian is in a back room pulling strings to keep Belichick out of the Hall of Fame, or Spygate was a huge factor. It does seem like it's more of just a procedural mistake by an entity, the Pro Football Hall of Fame, that has had a pretty arcane process for its voting for a long time.
Every Hall of Fame, they vote in different ways, right? But there aren't a lot of things that baseball does better than other sports, and you can make arguments that baseball's Hall of Fame and the voting block, which are all members of the Baseball Writers Association of America,
The dude who didn't vote for Greg Maddux should have been thrown out immediately. Like, you don't vote for the guy who didn't vote for each row. Like, toss him out.
Right. And those people should be clowned, right? The only unanimous Hall of Famer was Mariano Rivera, right? I think is the only unanimous one. Like, it's bananas. That's the only guy.
It's silly.
I mean, he certainly deserved it, but so have other people as well. It is weird that there's only 50 people. It's a strange process. Bill will go in,
and I would just point out too, Gold, that like there's this the antiquated part of the whole process is that when they started the Hall of Fame voting, they gave a vote to a reporter or TV person or whatever, somebody in every single market.
Right.
So like I think like Gary Gant who works for the Panthers or Panthers.com, has the Charlotte vote or whatever.
Yes, he does.
There's somebody who has the Tampa vote, and that made sense when they did it because you didn't have the internet. And you needed people to represent. I mean, this is exactly what it was. You needed people to represent the area and to say, hey, like, what you don't know about this guy, you might not be watching this guy. You didn't have Sunday tickets. But that, and I'm not saying like get rid of all these people, but that process, that part of it now is just extremely antiquated, with literally anybody who's listening to this or listening to us talk able to watch every single NFL game and make it's just an antiquated process.
Yeah, and you have to, like, I remember talking to Torrey Holt about it, and Brian Burwell, the late Brian Burwell, who used to write for the paper in St. Louis, he was the guy who would advocate for Torrey. Like, nobody should have to go up and like make a speech on Torrey Holt's behalf. I don't even understand. That would make that night incredibly long and arduous because there's 15 finalists. Who needs to live? By now we know. By now we should just have a larger voting block and let people vote. And it should not be private. We should allow these votes to be made public. But that's
you also run into, like, let's say, I mean, just you talk about the St. Louis reporter. Maybe you have a guy who's advocating for X player who is one better at like presenting, or two is more passionate about that.
Exactly.
Like, there's just a lot of flaws in the voting process.
I offered,
and then they introduced a new one this year that hosts Belichick.
That's right. I offered in a joking way. I said, Torrey, I'll get you in. I'll make your case, Torrey. but he didn't. The NFL didn't take me up on it. All right, to the game. I thought it was interesting yesterday that somebody asked Mike Vrabel if he felt it was a must win, and he answered it just matter of factly, just like
You know who that was, right? That was Dave That's my buddy Dave Damashek. He does that every year as a bit. Yeah, he did it for the Levitard show this year. He does it as a bit. He asked everybody at the Super Bowl if the Super Bowl is a must-win game.
That's hysterical.
And it is. Every year it gets tweeted out, and people are like, "Look at this idiot!"
Exactly. That's my favorite part. Yeah. My favorite part is the reaction to these questions, like the people who have no sense of humor at all. All right, so from my perspective,
yes, it is a must-win game.
I agree. It absolutely is. Are the Patriots being slept on here? Because we heard it all during the NFC Championship game. This is the real Super Bowl. Pats are 4.5-point underdogs. I think New England is awfully good. I love Mike Vrabel. I mean, nobody's selling Mike McDonald short at all as head coach. Right. I think people are just assuming that Seattle is going to win this game.
Yeah, it does feel that way. And, they're 4.5-point favorites, so, that's, not an unreasonable expectation, but it's not like this is a 13-point spread. I mean, it's 4.5 points.
Right.
Now, I am also in the camp that I think Seattle will win, but there's a lot of things that give me pause. One, the number of kids at the Pinewood Derby this past weekend wearing Drake May jerseys who are going to come back and harass me at Scouts if the Patriots win the Super Bowl. Two,
right.
Shout out to all those Drake May kids. Two, Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel's an awesome coach.
Yes,
and,
he is.
He's got 3 Super Bowl rings as a player. He knows that they are in a bit of an uphill battle in the sense that they are underdogs. He's going to remind them that they're underdogs throughout the week. And he's going to, I think he'll have a plan in place to try and get the jump on Seattle early in order to, because I think whoever can, this is kind of stupid to say, but I think it's true. It's like whoever can score early and get a double-digit lead and force either Sam Darnold or Drake May to drop back and throw a lot against what are 2 of the top 5 defenses in football this year, has a chance to really run away with this game. Because as good as Sam Darnold has been, and I think that he's had a tremendous season, and he's shut a lot of people up in the playoffs. If he has to throw a ton against a very good Patriots defense that has the ability to completely stop the run and can really make some plays on the back end, then I think the Seahawks could be in trouble. And conversely, I think if, the Seahawks come out early and are aggressive, throw down the field with some play action, Rashid Shaheed, attack that Patriots defense on the back end and score early and then force Drake May to throw a lot, then I think Seattle can blow this game out. So, there's definitely it could be a great game, but I think there's a significant chance of blowout on both sides because you're not dealing with some, like Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Patrick Mahomes, who can pull something out of their tail and come back, with a crazy, performance in the pass game.
Yeah, I agree almost entirely with that. I think for me, if you can get either quarterback to feel like he's got to go out and make something happen, that's where you create that possibility. I don't see this as really a blowout possibility on either side. I mean, I guess theoretically anything can happen, but I see this game as being a very close game. Both defenses are exceptional, and I think that's the part about this game that I think people are ignoring. Yeah, the Seahawks have an incredible defense, but so do the Patriots, and the Patriots have really good guys in the secondary that I think can make life a little bit more difficult for Sam Darnold. Not to mention, they can get some pressure on the quarterback, and if they do that, then I think you could, and this goes both ways, but you can force Sam Darnold into a mistake or two.
Yeah.
So I see this. I see this game. If Seattle wins it, it's going to be a special teams deal. That's where I think Seattle has an edge in the kicking game. Maybe not the return game because New England's pretty good. But in terms of kicking, I think Seattle is maybe the best in the league, no?
Yeah. I mean, they've incredible season for that kicking game. And, punting, kicking, adding Rashid Shaheed in the return game too. I mean, I think, this is a team that is just really, really well rounded. I would point out too. So Aaron Schatz, who founded Football Outsiders, does DVOA, which is like value over average or whatever. And 9 of the last 12 Super Bowls have been won by the team with the higher weighted DVOA coming into the game. There have been 3 upsets. I think it was the Broncos over Panthers, Eagles over Chiefs, and Chiefs over Niners were the 3, right? So,
okay.
Just for whatever that's worth. And you saw, special performances from each of those games. Seattle, this year's Seattle team has the highest weighted DVOA of any Super Bowl contestant since 2013, and that's when they started tracking that weighted DVOA.
Whoa.
So this is the best Super Bowl team by that metric since 2013, which, I mean, I don't think that a lot of people would agree with that statement when you think about some of the other teams, but I think it speaks to just how good that defense is and maybe how explosive that offense can be. Again, I think it comes down to, can they get Sam Darnold comfortable early, throw the ball on first down, throw the ball in the first quarter, get some points, and then let the defense eat. And I think if they do that, then Seattle's in a very good spot.
All right, give me a score, and we'll apply the spread and the total to it. What do you got?
I think we're sleeping on the Patriots. I think Seattle's going to win handily. So I'll say
handily.
Yeah, I think you could maybe bet Seattle alts up to 13.5.
Wow.
I'll say Seattle 27, New England 13.
27-13. So you like the Seahawks and the under.
Yeah.
Right? 27-13 is 40, which is less than 45.5. Will Brinson, senior NFL writer, CBSSports.com, sorts the Sunday pile. Sir, one more game to go. You're not.
Can't wait for that prediction to look stupid in a week.
It may. It may. I like the Patriots in the game. So one of us will be right. Promise.
That's always a good spot to be in.
All right, man. Talk to you later.
All right, buddy. Talk to you soon.
Will Brinson, senior NFL writer, CBSSports.com. I haven't come up with the score, but I like the Patriots to win the game.
I'm kind of leaning where Will's at, too.
I totally
think the Seahawks will end up winning. I mean, I don't think it'll be a complete, shutout where they're just stomped, but, yeah, I think the Seahawks will.
Either way, a local guy named Drake is going to get a Super Bowl title. Whether it's Drake Thomas, who played at NC State, and by the way, we're going to talk to one of his high school coaches from Heritage, Dewayne Washington, another former state guy, or Drake May, a local guy named Drake, will win a Super Bowl. All right, when we come back, questions and answers and one-timers next.
Asheville to Wilmington, Boone to Durham, The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Did you know Medicare fraud is costing us $68 billion a year? The NC Department of Insurance Senior Medical Patrol Program's goal is to reduce Medicare fraud, waste, and abuse. If you suspect any billing or Medicare fraud issues, we're here to help. Contact SMP today at ncshiip.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
No matter your struggle, you are not alone. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is free, private, and always available. If you feel lonely, isolated, anxious, or overwhelmed, help is here all day and night. Call, text, or chat 988 without cost, without judgment, and without waiting for an appointment. You'll get support that can make a difference. Brought to you by the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services.
You know the only feeling sweeter than opening a college acceptance letter? Knowing that you'll be able to pay for tuition however far you go. The first step? Completing the free application for federal student aid, or the FAFSA for short. find out how much money for college you qualify for. Grants, scholarships, and other opportunities are waiting. How far can you go? Find out at cfnc.org/FAFSA 101.
If you pay your city or town for electricity, you live in a public power community. Public power communities provide electricity to families and businesses from a locally owned and operated system. Public power systems are not-for-profit and provide electricity at affordable rates with unbeaten reliability. Your local public power provider invests in your community, providing local jobs and supporting your local economy. Electricities of North Carolina is the energy behind public power. Learn more at electricities.com.
PBS North Carolina premieres an all-new season of the music series Shaped by Sound, featuring 13 North Carolina artists, including Grammy winner Anthony Hamilton, Rock Band Wednesday singer-songwriter Ben Folds, and NC Music Hall of Famer Jim Lauderdale, among others. Watch as they perform in the studio and share the stories behind their songs. Thursdays at 10:30 p.m. on PBS NC or stream anytime on the free PBS app. Learn more about PBS North Carolina at pbsnc.org.
Practicing a championship way can happen 100% of every day. In the pool and when traveling highways. A law of sportsmanship includes taking the high road when going away and returning home. Buckle up your seatbelt in the front and back seats. Every seat, every time. Each time you click, it counts as a winning ticket. Demonstrate your championship drive through your safety practice. A freestyle by any measure. This message was brought to you by the Governor's Highway Safety Program of the North Carolina High School Athletic Association.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
It's what we were taught, trained, and told to do.
It could be for anything. Helping a friend move.
Listening to a fellow veteran for hours, at any hour of the day.
Or just simply making time for people. A neighbor, a loved one, or even a stranger.
We're often the first to help others. There's no question about it.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
Perhaps it's time to do for yourself what you would do for others.
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Gold. Gold.
Person in front of me in line had a box of wine.
Oh, yeah. I feel that person. If you are buying boxed wine on a Friday, that thing is open right now.
In the car.
Yeah. I don't even need it to cool down.
She jammed a big straw right through the top of the box
yeah.
in the
Went
car.
to the gas station to get a cup of ice. Like, they don't even care.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. By the way, I have it on good authority that the Senators will not have their local scout in attendance tonight.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, will not be in attendance tonight because the last time he missed a local Senators appearance,
they won.
Ottawa shut out Carolina.
Mm-hmm. So we've learned our friend is superstitious.
Yep. Yep.
We know where he stands.
We have. He'll be watching from afar.
Okay.
All right. It is time. One-timers, questions and answers.
Okay, so kicking things off yesterday, we ran out of time, and I promised that I would start today off with Combrades, and I don't even know if he's watching, so if you are, make yourself aware.
Yeah.
He wants to know, I know it has been asked before, but do you think it is likely the Canes make a move before the Olympic break trade freeze?
No. Very unlikely that they make a move before the Olympic break, because I don't think that they're really in play for the biggest fish. I don't think they're in play for our... they're always in play for everybody, but they're not in play for Artemi Panarin. Sorry, that ain't happening. So, and I think he's the only one who might move before the break, which I think tomorrow is the freeze, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So the answer is no. Any move the Hurricanes make will be made after the Olympics are over.
Okay. Oh, we've got a noise here. There we go. So from Justin, said not a traditional one-timer. I love those too, so people are welcome to throw those out there. But do you think it is worth it for your son to be on all these soccer tournaments with all the travel? I ask because my 12-year-old has potential, but 3 siblings. So I'm sure he's thinking that.
Yes. Oh, man. Give him my phone number. This is a conversation to be had off the air. It's different for everybody. I think the experience is, as long as the competition is good, and he's challenged by it, then yes, these things are good, but they're not good for everybody. Mm-hmm. So, and 12, that might be a little young. That might be a little young at 12, but Jack wasn't doing those things at age 12.
Yeah.
So, he was good, but he wasn't doing those things at age 12.
Yeah.
But yeah, he and I need to talk also.
Well, this is a follow-up. How important is it to have a true big man in college basketball? UNC and Duke have that player. NC State does not. Your thoughts?
I don't think you necessarily need a great big man. I think you need some size, some physicality down low. But I think you can win a title without a great big man. I do. It just puts a lot of pressure on other players. But if you have good enough players, then a good big man can just be a role player, to be honest. So Carolina and Duke's big men are very, very, very different. I can't wait for Saturday, man. Duke does have a game tonight against Boston College, though.
His Zamboni is bigger than yours. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
It's Super Bowl week on 99.9 The Fan.
Hot dog, man!
Listen all week long as we get you ready for Sunday's big game between New England and Seattle.
May's going to run to the outside of the sideline. He's got the first down. Drake May picks up the first down, and that may be the play that sends the Patriots back to the Super Bowl.
Inside interviews and our picks to win the Lombardi Trophy.
It's finish time.
The big game broadcast on 99.9 The Fan is presented by Wake Med.
I'm Dr. Miller, a dentist and a volunteer for Dental Lifeline Network. DLN is a nonprofit that has helped me literally change the lives of people in my community through the Donated Dental Services program. DLN asks dentists to volunteer to see just one of the many patients in need each year. If you're a dentist or know a dentist, please share this information. Like me, they can make a real difference in someone's life. DLN makes it easy.
Go to willyouseeone.org to learn more. That's willyouseeone.org.
Get as loud as you can for Monster Jam!
The one and only Monster Jam. Packed with stunts, smiles, and jaw-dropping skills. See the world's best drivers tear up the dirt in your favorite Monster Jam trucks. Like Gravedigger, El Toro Loco, Sparkle Smash, and more. Only at Monster Jam. Coming to Lenovo Center, February 21st and February 22nd. Brought to you by BKT Tires. Visit monsterjam.com.
Looking for the ultimate big game play? Come catch all the action at the Dugout Tavern and Grill in Apex. We've got a massive 16-foot surround sound video wall so you can watch every play and the famous ads in all their glory. During the big game, the Dugout is serving buy one, get one half off appetizers and $15 Sweetwater buckets all day. Come back Fat Tuesday to watch the big college rivalry basketball game with the Dugout and cheer on the athletes in Italy with $6 Peroni Euro Lager during the winter games. Catch all the games at the Dugout Tavern and Grill on Kelly Road in Apex.
To some people, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much. But that's not necessarily true. By 6 months, they're combining vowels and consonants. By 9 months, they're trying out different kinds of sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on some meaning. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children.
Early screening and intervention can make a lifetime of difference and unlock a world of possibilities. Take the first step at autismspeaks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
All of us have a role to play in promoting a mental health-friendly workplace.
Whether we're a CEO, manager,
coworker,
or someone with a mental health condition ourselves.
So what can I do to help?
Learn more at whatcanyoudocampaign.org.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from...
We can be twinsies.
...to...
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Calls Abel away, drifts to the right, whips it right, McNeil, pumps, step back, three-pointers up, wide open, look, yes, sir! Paul McNeil Jr., now 14 packed threes today. Holloman snaps it left for Arsenault, drives in on Schwieger, hangs, fades, floats, and hits a line driver with a hand in his face, back up 12. 96-78, McNeil's up to 25, he has 5 trays, the Packs made 16 road threes, 57% from the field today. NC State is 7-2.
Wolfpack have played well. Tar Heels played well last night. Duke has Boston College tonight. And then Saturday, I don't know how many people are aware, Duke and Carolina will play against one another. Holy cow, it's here. Duke-Carolina rivalry part 1. I know somebody who might not be there, but will have interest in the in that game. He is the former governor of North Carolina, our Canes insider. Roy Cooper joins us. Sir, how you doing?
Adam, I am forever grateful that you let this Eastern North Carolina boy who is an armchair fan have the microphone. You know how much I covet your job. I would love to sit around and talk about sports all day. I know you have to do a lot of work.
I do.
Man, there's a lot going on here in sports.
There
Canes,
is.
College basketball. The Hornets are playing pretty well.
Oh my gosh, the Hornets!
A lot happening.
The Hornets are on another level right now. But look, I know we're going to talk Canes, but
yes,
but I want to ask you about what's coming up on Saturday. It's okay to be a Tar Heel fan versus a Blue Devil fan. There's only like 11 Duke fans that live locally anyway. So
come on.
I'm kidding. I said that, not you. What chances do you give the Tar Heels on Saturday?
Always a chance when these two teams get together. I mean, the numbers are scarily even over the decades that they have played, and you never know. This Duke team is for real, though, but it will be interesting to see two teams that are really led by freshmen with Boozer and Wilson, who clearly are not only the best players on their team, but are the vocal and spiritual leaders of the team. It'll be great to see this rivalry, as always, every twice a year, and sometimes more than that.
That's right.
So
that's right.
You know, I think both of these teams obviously are NCAA tourney bound, and who knows? We may see a Final Four rematch.
Yeah, we could see that. We could see this 4 times, and that would be great. I like State too. I think NC State's going to be around for a long time when we get to March. Just quickly before we get to the Canes, your thoughts on the future of the Dean E. Smith Center?
Yeah, I think we need to keep the students in mind when we're doing this. There is a vibe, there is a feel about having the arena on campus. I know probably NC State fans would probably prefer it if it were more centrally located. So they've got some big guns who have launched with Roy and Tyler. And Roy bringing Dean Smith into the argument. Boy, how are you going to argue against that? So
Roy knows what he's doing.
Interesting to see.
Yeah, Roy knows exactly what he's doing. Roy Williams
exactly what he's doing.
As does Roy Cooper. All right, let's get to the Hurricanes who host the Ottawa Senators tonight. First of all, since you mentioned vibe, your vibe check going into the second game against the Senators in 10 days?
Well, okay. Message to Carolina Hurricanes fans. Never leave the game early. If you think we got it in the bag, we don't. If you think we can't come back, we can. And I think that's the lesson really from the last 8 to 10 days that we have seen from this team. And I don't know exactly what it is. This is definitely in the running for the Stanley Cup team. Bussy is stepping up. We've heard all of the comparisons to Cam Ward. There's some differences there, obviously, but I mean, there's a feeling that this team can do it. But there are just times when, and Rod says it himself, they just lose focus. But man, when they do focus, you can get 3 goals in a minute 59, which is pretty extraordinary. And I did talk to several fans. I was in the living room, and I spilled. It really was a glass of Diet Sundrop, and sometimes I do have another kind of beverage watching the game, but I did spill it when that last goal, because I sort of was settling in for overtime, and when Stahl came around and played to that front of the net and tapped that thing in, I just jumped up in the air. I could not believe it, and I talked with several fans who had left early. Said, "Don't do it. Don't do it. Not with this team."
Yeah, it almost came out of nowhere because they weren't great against Utah for the entirety of the game. I thought the first period of that game, watched the first 2 periods before we had a flight from Atlanta to Phoenix this past weekend, and we watched the first 2 periods in the airport and then got on the plane, and we were following the game on the plane, just on our phones, my son and I, and it was 4-2. And all of a sudden, he said to me, "Well, they have a double minor. They're going on the power play. There's about 5.5 minutes left." And I'm like, "All right, well, we'll see what happens here. The power play wasn't great." And then they scored. I'm like, "All right, well, they still need another one." And then he said, "Look at that. They tied it." And by the time I got to my phone to just look at it, Stahl scored. And I'm like, "What do you mean tied it? They're ahead." And they won the game. It was a remarkable thing. And you know Jordan Stahl very well. It could not be coming from a better place for this team and for the head coach, because I don't know if Rod will ever want to coach a team that is not captained by Jordan Stahl.
I don't think I've ever seen him smile as wide as he smiled after that game. It was truly a moment of euphoria and enjoyment. And he said after the game that these are the kinds of games that you live to play for.
Yep.
Even different from playoffs. You want to win playoffs games, and you want to go all the way and win the Stanley Cup like he has. But he says these are the special games. And they are for the fans too, because that's the kind of game you never forget. Especially if you're there. Wish I had been there. It was a fantastic game. But then we've blown a couple of leads, but we've fought back, and that you and I talked about the Capitals and my loathing, I guess, now particularly after Wilson did a number on my boy Stankoven.
He did.
Can't believe he got exonerated. That was absurd. Just because he was taller? Come on. It's ridiculous.
So
It's ridiculous.
Kane's Twitter is not happy with me, Mr. Cooper, because I could see why it wasn't called.
All right, I'm hanging up. I'll see it.
See,
you can see why it wasn't called. Because he's a guy of
not about
stature.
height. Not about height. For me, it wasn't about height.
Not about height. All right. So what is it about?
For me, it was about the puck had just left, so it was not. To me, it was not late. The only penalizable thing. I think I just made up a word. The only thing that you could have been penalized for there would be the actual hit. And I think that Wilson did everything you're supposed to do. The league asks of you when it comes to delivering a check. His arm was down. I know what the slow motion says, but his arm was down at the time of the hit. His skates were on the ice at the time of the hit. The height factor comes in that he does deliver the hit. He didn't go out of his way to hit the head, is what I'm saying. So I understand why it was not penalized. And
but this is a reason why in court, when the defendant takes a stand, that you can ask him about his prior criminal record. And with Wilson, I think you have to take into account his sordid history of his bad hits and bad attitude. Now, I think it's purposeful. I think, here's this young guy coming into the league and, oh, my elbow is there, we'll let it stay. And that sparked them to the victory, in my opinion. I mean, it turned things around for them. And so we can't let them do that to us. And Wilson, I'll say he's a great player. Yeah. There's no question. And he pushes the edge all the time. But I think the kind of player that he has been over the years, you're supposed to take angles that take into account people's head, no matter that the head might be 8 inches below where normally a head would be. But anyway, you're right. It's a tough action game. Yeah. It's hard to analyze when it's moving so fast. But you'll never tell me that he just thought he was going in for a legal check.
This is why
he was headhunting, man. That's what he was doing.
This is why Roy Cooper is now our analyst. You are now our official Adam Gold Show hockey analyst.
You, man. I keep telling him I'm running for the United States Senate, and that will put me in close proximity to the Capitals. And we'll just see what kind of things we can do to make sure that we clear the way and clear the air with the Capitals.
I want to ask you,
so you know.
I want to ask you two quick things. I've heard that you are running. Roy Cooper joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. You would trade for Tom Wilson if you could, though, correct?
Don't ask me that.
Okay.
Yes, I would. Of course, I would.
All right. I just want
if it were a good deal.
Sure.
Now,
sure.
I don't. But if we won the trade, yeah. but that's what hockey's all about.
Exactly. All right. Let me ask you this:
when they become yours, then they do deserve some dispensation.
Is there somebody out there that you think Eric Tulsky should be going after in the trade market?
I was thinking goalie and started looking, and this was several weeks ago, started looking at available, and Bennington's name is popping up. And he obviously has had an amazing career and probably will play well for Canada in the Olympics. But he's having a terrible year this year, or not a good year.
No, it's pretty terrible.
and thinking about whether we should do that, considering, we can't be really sure about Freddie. And that's a lot on Bussy to put this guy this is his first NHL season, that everything is riding on him. Whether we should do that or not, I don't know whether that works with the cap. I don't know what we'd have to give up for him. I still think that's something we should consider, because sometimes a change of scenery can make a difference for a goalie. And otherwise, Eric can look for, we always need scoring power in the playoffs, and that's where our downfall has come often. And if you can get a second or third line scorer, somebody who's, might be a 20-goal-a-game scorer or something like that, to pick up without too much damage, I think that would be great. That would be great too.
I'd love to see a bigger second center. Roy Cooper joining us here on the Adam Gold Show.
Because so we won't get hit in the head, you mean, by Tom Wilson?
Yes, that would be good to avoid that. I'm not sure Washington's going to be around in the playoffs, but although just maybe walking the streets if Tom Wilson is somewhere on the streets of Buffalo or on the streets of New Jersey or Long Island if Wilson is walking around. All right, final thing, because I know you've got to go, but we have 2 more games before the sport shuts down for the Olympics. Do you have that? It's not going to be the same level of passion that you have for the Hurricanes, but what is your love of Olympic hockey?
Oh, I think it can be. I think it could be captivating. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know whether we can beat Canada in this thing, but I think we can. I think you have to watch Finland and Sweden as well, but I think it will be so much fun. I sort of like it when the other teams, you've got your guys on other teams and their guys on yours, and it was kind of the 4 nations. I really enjoyed that. What I don't like is the compressed schedule that the Olympics gives you.
Right.
It is so hard on those guys to play that many games. I mean, look at what we did with the game when we played that evening, and then came back and played the Kings. At 3:00 in the afternoon. Both teams played an away game that night and came back and played in the afternoon. So I think that's a downside to Olympic hockey. But no, I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited, and go USA. We'll see what we can do.
Yeah, well,
and I think the Canadians are missing out on Seth Jarvis. He will be there in the future. He will be a strong part of that team in the future, but I know he's got to be disappointed. But as a Hurricanes fan, I'm sort of glad he's going to get a break.
Same, although Canada's taken on a bunch of injuries last couple of games. Would not be completely surprised if they ultimately called Jarvis up. But I think that has to happen like maybe in the next day or so. Otherwise, he can't go. Roy Cooper.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, former North Carolina governor. I have heard you're running, and I'm glad you are. And I know we're going to talk again about the Canes, in just a few weeks. I appreciate your time, sir.
Can't wait, Adam. Always love to talk with you.
All right, we can, and you can have this seat. You can have this seat whenever you want.
I appreciate that. It's something that I would love to do.
All right, we'll work it out. We'll work it out. Maybe we could do it. We could trade, like in a year or so.
You could be senator for a day.
For a day. That would be great. Nobody.
Oh, my God. Where would we be then?
Oh, my. All right, never mind.
You may straighten out this country. That would be great.
I've got a plan. All right, sir, I'll talk to you soon.
All right. See you later, Adam.
Take care. Roy Cooper here on the Adam Gold Show. All right, when we come back, I want to get into Carolina's win over Syracuse, looking ahead to Duke. I know Duke plays Boston College tonight. You know what the spread is for that?
Oh, no.
Duke is a 26.5-point favorite.
Oh, that's all. Okay.
That's a conference game. What are we doing? We need relegation in the ACC. 26.5 points. I drooled. So we'll talk a little bit about basketball next.
Asheville to Wilmington, Boone to Durham, the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Get crazy, Canes fans. It's hockey night in Carolina. It's your Canes and Ottawa.
Back to Thompson, they score.
He saved it. I thought he saved it.
Oh, dear, Bussy.
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 6:30. Puck drop at 7.
Lukanen with the save. Rebound, they score. Seth Jarvis on the power play. Followed his shot and found the back of the net.
On your official audio home of Hurricanes hockey, 99.9 The Fan.
Despite the bubble's best effort, the Triangle did end up seeing snow, which was perfect for snow cream and maybe a little Sharky addition. I'm Victoria Vodnecker here for Blue Shark Vodka, a locally owned, family-operated North Carolina business that produces the smoothest and cleanest vodka. And if you know me, I'm immediately thinking snow cream whenever I hear snow might be coming. And I never really thought to make a happy hour version of snow cream, but once you've tried Blue Shark Vodka, you'll want to experiment and try it in all different kinds of ways. So if you haven't already, go check them out at your local ABC store.
Breaking news. Multiply the Cash scratch-offs are here and have $1 billion in total prizes. Mike's live on the scene.
The word is out, and with so much cash up for grabs, everyone's getting in on this $1 billion. Grandma?
Out of my way, Mikey. Granny's on a roll.
You heard it here first, folks. Get in on $1 billion of wins with new Multiply the Cash from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 3.01 to 4.82. Problem gambling helpline, 877-718-5543.
It's bow time.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $6.99.
Leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $6.99.
So crispy.
So crispy.
And juicy.
And juicy.
So much flavor.
So much.
Stop it. What are you doing?
What, you expect me to get this delicious deal and not say anything?
You're unbelievable.
You're unbelievable.
With a boldly seasoned leg and thigh, choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea, it's a deal so good it's worth repeating. So eat and repeat while it lasts. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Dine in, drive through, or tap your favorite delivery app and have Bojangles come to you. Satisfy your craving for flavor right now with Bojangles 2-piece dinner. 2 pieces of Bojangles dark meat chicken, your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and iced tea for just $6.99. That's right, just $6.99 for limited time at participating Bojangles. What are you waiting for? When you're hungry, it's always bow time.
Low mortgage rates are back. Listen, Loan Pronto has fixed rate mortgages with APRs as low as 4.89%, lowest in years. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Smart homeowners are taking advantage of this while they can. If you got stuck in a 6% loan, you can lower your payment big time. Or you can keep your primary mortgage intact and get cash out of your equity with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. One homeowner just got $250,000 out of their home. They paid off all their credit cards and some car loans and cut their monthly expense by $2,000. Call now and see what option works best for you. But don't miss the big rate drop of 2026. Ask about new home loans, VA loans, full cash out refis, or their famous Rapid Equity Loan. You can close in less than 2 weeks, and you may be able to skip your next 2 house payments altogether. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com for your free instant home appraisal with no hard credit pull. Call 919-381-1760 now, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166171, APR for well-qualified buyers. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing a lawyer, but getting some guy who just watches courtroom dramas.
How does the defendant plead?
Guilty. Wait, what? Also, objection.
You object to what?
Erroneous.
Counsel, approach the bench.
Hey, can I get a whack at the gavel?
You wouldn't settle for just any lawyer, so don't settle for just any insurance. Get the real deal with State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
One Adam. Gold. One Adam. Gold.
I have his jersey.
Do you?
Yes.
Do you have any other jerseys or just to Jake Delhomme?
I got so many.
Do you really?
I go all the way back from Tim Biakabatuka.
Wow.
Yes. Cam, Luke, obviously, Smitty. So, yeah, I've got multiple. 6 or 7, maybe?
6, 7?
6, 7? 6, 7?
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Little basketball, little hockey in this segment. Next hour, talk to Dewayne Washington, who coached Drake Thomas at Heritage High School in Wake Forest. Looking forward to that conversation. That's it's a family with deep ties to NC State, and makes a lot of sense. By the way, that coaching staff at one point also had Torrey Holt on it. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
It's got some bones.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty good. Anyway, let's get to a little bit more of college basketball. And by the way, I was looking at recent bracketology. The ACC is all over this. Not only is Duke very firmly established as a 1 seed at this point, doesn't mean they're going to be, because you're still by the end of there's a lot of really good teams. Arizona still hasn't lost. I saw a blurb, I don't know if it was a social media blurb or whatever. I saw a blurb that said that Illinois is the hottest team in the country. How can you be hotter than the team that hasn't lost yet?
What?
I just don't even understand that. So, but there's a lot of really good teams. And at the end of the day, at the end of the college basketball regular season, which includes the conference tournaments, Duke probably won't get a 1 seed unless they win the ACC tournament. I don't know that they're going to get over where Arizona has been, maybe where Michigan has been, as good as Duke is. So I think in order for Duke to be a 1, they'd have to win the ACC tournament, which they might. If they are, I do think, even though that this Duke-Carolina game, which is at the Smith Center on Saturday, like, nothing would surprise me about that game. Nothing would surprise me whether either team won comfortably, whatever. Nothing would surprise me about it. But ultimately, I think if Duke and Carolina, these two teams played 10 times, I think Duke would probably win 7. I think there is a gap between Duke and Carolina. But it doesn't matter for this game. The gap isn't so wide that these two teams, won't play an absolute classic. Here's the thing, and the reason I say that, I think each team, and I've talked about it, many, many times here, but I talked about it with the guys in Charlotte today. Each team has one weakness. I think that is a noticeable weakness. One thing that I think could get in the way of each going on a really, really long NCAA tournament run. And I think Duke is better than Carolina. I think their ceiling is higher. But neither team is great at point guard. I think both teams are good at point guard. You can get away with good up front if you have great point guard. It's harder to make good point guard work for you because college basketball, even more than the NBA, although the NBA is trending that way also, really is a guard game. I would argue that Duke lost to Houston last year because while their guard play was good, it wasn't great. And I would say the same thing about their, maybe in some cases, surprising losses. The loss to State in the ACC tournament and the Final Four. Their losses to State, for me, happened because Duke didn't get great guard play. So I think Duke will still have to get better between now and the end of the season, but both of these teams right now have very similar Achilles heels. And that's where they are. Caleb Wilson is elite. Cameron Boozer is elite. I don't care about, NBA futures. We're not playing NBA basketball right now. There are a lot of people that think Caleb Wilson will be a better pro than Cam Boozer. Those people might be right. But we're not there yet. It has nothing to do with what is happening now and what will happen Saturday. I think Duke has a few more options, but based on what I saw last night from Carolina, maybe not. Because Carolina looked awfully good for most of the game, not all of the game, and that is where we're going to start with Hubert Davis. Because right out of the gate in the second half, they put the screws to Syracuse.
I like that. I put a lot of stock in that. Yeah, I put a lot of stock in that one too. I like that as well. But that's something that we have battled all year. Is our ability to stay on point, on script, and that's something that we need to fix now. We have stretches, I think, of brilliance, and then we'll go stretches where we're making multiple mistakes consecutively, and and that's something that we have to work on and something that we have to get better at.
All right, so they got off to a great start in the second half. Well, I don't know what the total run was. It says here it was 40-14. I just know this. The game was about a 5-point game right before the end of the half. And Carolina went on a 12-0 run. Created separation. The lead ballooned to like 31 points with about 9 minutes left, whatever it was. And then I just think Carolina just went to sleep. I think they figured, well, Syracuse isn't very good, but Syracuse kept fighting. They made life difficult for Carolina. Now, how much does the last 6 or so minutes, how much does that matter to Coach Davis?
We always talk about finishing possessions, finishing halves, finishing games, and that's just unacceptable. I thought we were playing really well on both ends of the floor. I felt defensively we were getting better throughout the game, especially the second half. I thought we responded and came out on both ends of the floor. We were on point, and Syracuse is a great basketball team. Coach Autry is a fantastic coach, and you can see they're extremely talented. But the last 9 minutes and 32 seconds, just a departure of what allowed us to get the lead. Taking good shots, taking care of the basketball, executing defensively, defending without fouling, execution-wise, defensively, boxing out, just different stuff like that. And they got it to 6. And so we'll watch the film and learn from it. And I always think, I go from Coach Smith, mistakes are good when you can recognize it, admit it, learn from it, and grow from it, and that's what we'll do.
All right, here's my read on this. It was the perfect outcome. The perfect trajectory of that game to get Carolina focused for Saturday. If you win that game by 40, which it looked like they were going to, it makes it a little bit more difficult to realize that sometimes the snowball just doesn't go downhill all the way. What happened over the last 6 minutes of that game, which frankly was stunning, and it was a 6-point game, not a 6-point game like with 15 seconds left. It was a 6-point game with about a minute left. And I thought, my gosh, if Carolina, they went to the free throw line and made 2 free throws. If they don't make the free throws, we are serious jeopardy here. I think that just allows the coaches to get angry at a team after winning by effectively 30 points. So I actually think that works in Carolina's favor. I'm not saying that will impact the game, but it will impact their focus, I think, in a positive way. I am really looking forward to Saturday night. I think while I do believe Duke is better, and I don't believe the venue matters at all, both teams routinely win on the other team's floor. It happens all the time. I am not in any way concerned about, I think Carolina will win because it's at the Smith Center. Just look it up, man. It doesn't matter where this game is played. They could play this game in outer space. It would not matter. Anyway, it should be
cool.
I am what?
That'd be cool.
That would be fun. On the space station.
I know. It'd be Space Jam. For real.
That would be dynamite. Who would the Monstars be?
All right.
Cam Boozer and Caleb Wilson would both be part of the Monstars.
Yes.
By the way, Jaron Stevenson, I know his numbers yesterday were modest. I thought he made, for the second straight time, I thought he made a huge, huge impact in the game. And their height, Vesar and Stevenson, their height could have an impact around the rim against Duke, because the only thing you could bang on Cam Boozer about is height around the rim does give him some problems. I mean, it gives everybody problems, but he is a power forward who can score around the rim, but you can bother him with shot blocking ability and height. But of course, his game is so varied. He might just decide not to back you down all night. He might just decide to go mid-range or stand, around by the 3-point line. That'll be interesting to see who does the guarding of Cam Boozer. My guess is we're going to see a lot of Caleb Wilson on him. See how much pressure Boozer puts on Wilson and vice versa. Foul trouble will play a factor in the game. All right, to a little bit of stuff about the Hurricanes, because I saw this on Twitter and I wanted to get to this. There are several players that the Hurricanes have been mentioned as a potential trade destination for. And for so I wanted to go through at least the ones that showed up, because I do think that the Canes are in the market for certain players, and I ranked them in order of personal preference for me. It's not what is more likely, because frankly, number one is probably not likely at all on this list. So the 7 players that they put down were Robert Thomas of the Blues, Ryan O'Reilly of the Nashville Predators, Artemi Panarin, Vincent Trocheck. I haven't heard much about it this year, but Elias Pettersson, the center for the Vancouver Canucks, Alex Tuck of the Buffalo Sabres. So I ranked these players in order of preference, personal preference. And personal preference for me is pretty simple. Robert Thomas. He's the best, youngest, top-tier center that might be available. I don't know what it would cost to get him. I don't think I would include Alexander Nikishin on that list, in that deal for a player, because I don't think Thomas isn't one of those players. But I think Thomas and Aho and Sebastian Aho are relatively comparable in terms of what their value is to the team. I think Aho is slightly better, but I mean, you could probably argue it either way. Thomas is right-handed and a good center. So that's, in my opinion, if Carolina needs one thing, it's an upgrade at center. Not over Aho, but honestly over Logan Stankoven. So he would be the most desirable addition for me. But I think the acquisition cost for him is going to be through the roof. And I don't think that they are interested in doing that for somebody like Robert Thomas, who is primarily a Sebastian Aho level player. And Aho is 30th in the NHL right now in scoring. Well, you're not doing it for a top 30 player. You're not giving away tons for a player like that. Now, if we're talking about a top 10 player, theoretical. If we were talking about Leon Draisaitl, different animal. But we're not talking about Leon Draisaitl. If we were talking about Austin Matthews, which, who knows? It's a completely different story. But we're not talking about that type of player. We're talking about Robert Thomas, who, again, very good player and would be a great addition for for Carolina. And I only went through the 7 players that were listed there. It just was easier than kind of picking other players out of the ether. Second player I would add would be Ryan O'Reilly of Nashville. I think this is actually realistic because Nashville, I mean, they're sort of in it because they've played much better of late, and they are maybe less likely to blow it up. But when we get back from the Olympic break and there's only 25 games in a sprint to the finish line, teams are going to find out pretty quickly where they are. And O'Reilly could be gotten, depending on what you had to give up. And here's why Ryan O'Reilly, to me, would be ideal for Carolina. 1, he is an elite face-off guy, two-way player. He can score still, even at age, 35 or so. He is great in front of the net, has some of the best hands in the entire NHL in front of the goal. 1 more year left in a contract after this year. So it's not a pure rental. You're getting him for this playoff and next playoff. That's a big deal. He is left-handed, but he is a great face-off guy, and I think he would make Carolina better. And the salary number on him is only $4.5 million for 1 more year. Tremendous player, and we know he can win a Stanley Cup because his name is on the cup, and I believe he was the Conn Smythe winner in 19 when St. Louis won the cup. So for me, that puts him ahead of Vincent Trocheck, who would be next on that list. The thing about Trocheck that makes him behind Riley for me, it's not 3 years left in a contract because that's attractive too, because Trocheck is young enough to think that those 3 years, he's not going to age poorly. I don't even think he's going to age necessarily. My one fear about Trocheck, and he checks every other box other than this, is that I don't think he's got superb postseason pedigree. He's also, we keep talking about Carolina getting bigger. He's just like everybody else for Carolina. I love Vin. I love Vinny. And if they got him, I would be thrilled that they got Trocheck.
Me too.
But I'm just comparing him to Ryan O'Reilly. I'd rather have Ryan O'Reilly than Vincent Trocheck. 4, and people think, oh, now we're going to get to Artemi Panarin. Nope. Of the available wingers, I'd rather have Alex Tuch of Buffalo. Now, I don't think Buffalo's trading anybody because if you haven't paid attention, Buffalo is 21-4-1 in their last 26 games. Best team in the NHL in that span. 21-4-1. The Sabres right now are a wagon. But Tuch is a free agent when this season ends, much like Panarin. Tuch is younger than Panarin. He's not as good an offensive player. He is bigger than Panarin. He is faster than Panarin. He is a more willing defender than Panarin. And I could see Carolina getting Alex Tuch and extending him because I think Tuch is a player that you would keep, legitimately try to keep. I'm not saying that Alex Tuch's going to sign a contract, but it would be, I think Carolina would be interested in that if they could discuss a contract extension with him before the season ended. And after that would be Panarin, but of all the things, like Panarin's an elite offensive weapon. But he's not necessarily a defender. Like Tuch will kill penalties for you. He's not an elite, not a great defender. And honestly, if we're making a list of the things you need, another smallish winger, even though he is an elite offensive producer, another smallish winger isn't necessarily what Carolina needs. They've got plenty of those. Now, he would be the best of those, but it's not a need. Then people said Elias Pettersson from Vancouver and Michael Bunting, also from Nashville. And I laughed at both because Pettersson, A, hasn't been good at all in the last 2 years. Certainly not worth $10 million on a contract, because that's what the contract is. So set him aside. Michael Bunting, there's a reason they traded him. Michael Bunting, we had him. He wasn't what we thought we were going to get. That was truly caveat emptor, buyer beware. Because we thought we were getting like an agitating player who would mix it up and be a great net front, and he's just kind of a goofball. More like he wasn't bad, he was fine. But he wasn't the player that Carolina thought he was. Turns out almost anybody can post a really good offensive season playing next to Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner. Who knew? Anyway, I don't think Michael Bunting is in any way, shape, or form going to be part of what Carolina does. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. We have to stretch. We got to place bets, see if we can get on a roll leading up to the Super Bowl. We'll do all of that next.
Delivering more hits than the Canes forecheck.
Shoots, he scores!
The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. The Super Bowl is coming up on Sunday, and that's the end of the season. But FanDuel celebrating all week long, giving you a daily profit boost every single day leading up to Super Bowl 60. And today's 30% profit boost, which is not nothing, by the way, the rushing totals, rushing yards, over, under. Plus, you can always adjust to suit your own needs. Kenneth Walker, over 76.5 rushing yards? What about Drake May's rushing yard total? I'm going over with Drake May. Play your game with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of Super Bowl 60. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and maximum wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
You know the only feeling sweeter than opening a college acceptance letter? Knowing that you'll be able to pay for tuition however far you go. The first step? Completing the free application for federal student aid, or the FAFSA for short. Find out how much money for college you qualify for. Grants, scholarships, and other opportunities are waiting. How far can you go? Find out at cfnc.org/FAFSA101.
Practicing a championship way can happen 100% of every day. In the pool and when traveling highways. A law of sportsmanship includes taking the high road when going away and returning home. Buckle up your seatbelt in the front and back seats. Every seat, every time. Each time you click, it counts as a winning ticket. Demonstrate your championship drive through your safety practice. A freestyle by any measure. This message was brought to you by the Governor's Highway Safety Program of the North Carolina High School Athletic Association.
If you pay your city or town for electricity, you live in a public power community. Public power communities provide electricity to families and businesses from a locally owned and operated system. Public power systems are not-for-profit and provide electricity at affordable rates with unbeaten reliability. Your local public power provider invests in your community, providing local jobs and supporting your local economy. Electricities of North Carolina is the energy behind public power. Learn more at electricities.com.
PBS North Carolina premieres an all-new season of the music series Shaped by Sound, featuring 13 North Carolina artists, including Grammy winner Anthony Hamilton, Rock Band Wednesday singer-songwriter Ben Folds, and NC Music Hall of Famer Jim Lauderdale, among others. Watch as they perform in the studio and share the stories behind their songs. Thursdays at 10:30 p.m. on PBS NC or stream anytime on the free PBS app. Learn more about PBS North Carolina at pbsnc.org.
Sometimes the simplest steps make the biggest difference. Washing your hands often, staying home when you're sick, and talking with your health provider about vaccines.
Help keep your family protected against the flu, RSV, and COVID. Simple steps, big protection.
Defend yourself. Get vaccinated to protect you and your family from respiratory illnesses this season. Visit myspot.nc.gov to find yours today.
Brought to you by the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services.
Did you know Medicare fraud is costing us $68 billion a year? The NC Department of Insurance Senior Medical Patrol Program's goal is to reduce Medicare fraud, waste, and abuse. If you suspect any billing or Medicare fraud issues, we're here to help. Contact SMP today at ncshiip.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
One Adam. Gold. One Adam. Gold.
I told Jack in the car, you know what the word of the year is? He goes, what? I said it's 6'7". He just laughed.
I know.
It just means nothing, and that's fantastic that it's now the word of the year. What a country.
Can we bring back cool story, bro? That way, us millennials can be like, yeah, cool story, bro. I would love
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. Next hour, Dewayne Washington, who coached Drake Thomas in high school. And he's getting ready for, not Dwayne Washington, but Drake Thomas, getting ready for Super Bowl 60. It'll be Drake v. Drake. Tar Heel Drake May, Wolfpack Drake Thomas on opposite sides of the ball. And actually, Thomas could theoretically sack or tackle May. All right, shall we stretch?
Okay, well, I do this at the beginning of every month that you weren't here for
That's
yesterday.
Right. I'm sorry. You saved this?
I did. Just for
Really?
you. Yesterday,
Okay.
I talked about how you could get a keg chip where it's a huge keg of ketchup. You could try to win it from Heinz or buy it for only maybe $175.
Who needs that much ketchup?
I don't know. I don't. That's for sure.
You know what? I make barbecue sauce.
Oh, yeah. Homemade barbecue sauce?
I mean, except I use ketchup.
Yeah.
So, within it, but
Yeah.
so the ketchup is not homemade.
No.
Yeah.
But you might use your ketchup for it.
That's what I would use it for.
Yeah.
I don't really use ketchup anywhere else.
It'll last you for like 8 years.
Yeah.
So there you go. But in February, things we can look forward to, starting with our fave, sports. Obviously, Super Bowl Sunday is this Sunday, like you mentioned, Seahawks, Patriots. Also, the Daytona 500. The NBA All-Star Game are on the 15th.
Oh, yes. People are mad that LeBron James was named a reserve.
Yeah, I know. That was one of the seventh inning stretch topics before, that this was the first time his streak in, I don't know how.
Of starting.
Yes, yeah, being a starter. So.
Well, people are mad that he was even selected as a reserve. I honestly couldn't tell you if he's having a good year or not. I really don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't care.
No. No.
Even having the discussion is silly.
Mm-hmm.
These are games that the fans want to see.
Yeah.
He's still the most popular player in the league. What are we doing? If he's on the team, he's on the team. It's okay.
Yeah. Well, he'll also have plenty of time to watch the Winter Olympics. That starts this Friday.
I am fired up.
I'm so excited. That will go until the 22nd. Also, on TV, Family Guy is starting its 24th season. I didn't realize it was still on, but that starts the 15th. Also, The Voice, that's still going. So that's coming back the 23rd.
Can't believe it.
And I really can't believe this one. Survivor. Its 50th season is the 25th. Jeff, the host of that guy, never ages, but he's going to be doing season 158 of Survivor. It's ridiculous. But a lot of people who used to watch Scrubs will be excited to know that there's a reboot that premieres on ABC that same night. So I know that a lot of people might be excited for that. Also, don't forget
I'm
Valentine's.
not excited for Survivor.
No.
Care less.
No, I don't really care.
I don't
about
want to
it.
hit Survivor, Amazing Race. I don't do any of those.
All of that stuff. And also, ladies and fellas, but definitely fellas, don't forget Valentine's Day is
Wait.
I said girls and guys.
Why is it? But you said especially
guys. Yes.
Were you speaking directly to someone there?
No, I'm saying you were.
Why is it
hurt.
up to us?
Because it's for the ladies. Valentine's is for ladies. It is for reminding them how much you love them. So I feel like if women forget, which they won't, because we remember everything on the planet for everyone involved.
I feel seen.
That's all of us. So, yeah, just one day we like to be pampered. Not just one day, but don't forget that day because you'll be in the doghouse.
My wife has never forgotten anything.
Exactly.
Anything.
Yes.
She remembers details. I don't even remember events. She remembers details of these events.
Yes, not only do I remember the event, I remember the details, what time it happened, what the temperature was that day.
Frightening.
What I was wearing, all of it. So, yeah, Valentine's Day. Don't forget, 11 days away.
Yes, men. Men.
Exactly,
Only men.
Only you men
Only
out there.
men need to remember this.
This is for men and women, though. We're about to place Gray Bets.
Place your bets, place your bets. Here we are. I bet you slice into the woods $100.
Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
Okay, you can owe me. I owe you nothing.
Only men need to remember.
I know people out there are like, yep. Yep, it is. But tonight we have a hockey game. Hockey night in Carolina, and they're taking on the Senators. I'm sorry, Brad. I can't cheer for your Senators tonight. Got to go with our Canes. And you know what? I'll take the under 6.5 plus 190.
Okay. I'm not going to do anything in the game because, actually Carolina's not as big a favorite as they could be. Ottawa's playing very well. Ottawa plus 150 probably, if you're looking for value, isn't a bad bet. But I'm going to give you an anytime goal scorer from the Canes. Yes, Barry Kotkaniemi is scoring tonight plus 800.
Oh, nice. Is that your first goal scorer?
Actually, it is with Tim Donnelly today.
I know.
Yes, Barry Kotkaniemi is going to score a goal tonight.
I still have to think about mine, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a Seth Jarvis anytime goal. So, plus 160, why not?
Remember I was always doing those overtime goal scorers? Did I do that on Sunday?
Nope, I'm sure you didn't.
Did I do it on Sunday? By the way, Duke is minus 20,000 against Boston College. Minus 20,000.
Delivering more hits than the Canes forecheck.
He scores!
The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. The Super Bowl is coming up on Sunday, and that's the end of the season. But FanDuel celebrating all week long, giving you a daily profit boost every single day leading up to Super Bowl 60. And today's 30% profit boost, which is not nothing, by the way, the rushing totals, rushing yards, over, under. Plus, you can always adjust to suit your own needs. Kenneth Walker, over 76.5 rushing yards? What about Drake May's rushing yard total? I'm going over with Drake May. Play your game with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of Super Bowl 60. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and maximum wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
The Pack Therapy Podcast is in session, thanks to First Horizon Bank. Tim Donnelly here, host of The Drive, alongside Max Goring.
Every episode is your chance to score inside information on the Pack.
We'll set you up for Wolfpack basketball all season long.
And we break down the ACC competition, what to watch for as we roll towards the Tournament Madness.
Follow and subscribe to Pack Therapy wherever you discover your favorite podcasts or watch on YouTube.
16
privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out.
Mom, can we get snacks?
Unless chips are on sale for $3.99, we're in the snack drought, buddy.
Hey, remember Current? They can get us up to $750 before payday once we qualify.
Wait, $750 of our money now?
Yep, and they're even offering an extra $75 sign-up bonus right now. Set up an eligible payroll deposit and see if we qualify for an advance. No hassle, no credit checks.
Gummy worms, here we come.
Current has your back with up to $750 in paycheck advances once you qualify. And right now, get an extra $75 bonus when you set up an eligible payroll deposit. Join the millions who count on Current when it matters most. Text CREDIT to 323232 now. That's CREDIT to 323232. CREDIT to 323232.
Paycheck advance is offered by FindCo Advance LLC, a financial technology company, not an FDIC-insured bank. Eligibility and available amounts may vary and are subject to change at any time. For full terms and conditions, visit current.com/radio or call 1-888-851-3177 for more
If
information.
you're watching football this weekend, you know how it goes. Somebody's always hungry by the first quarter. So call Pizza Hut and get the Big New Yorker for just $10. Our biggest pizza for the biggest games. These slices are huge, like use two hands and fold it huge. Feed your crew and order ahead at pizzahut.com or in the app.
Pizza Hut!
Ask for limited time offer. Prices, participation, and availability may vary. Additional charge for extra toppings, max 3 and extra cheese. Taxes, tip, and delivery fee not included.
Kids across America are going to school hungry every day. With help from caring people across America, No Kid Hungry is providing healthy meals and hope to hungry kids so they can build better futures. Learn more at helpnokidhungry.org.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing a lawyer, but getting some guy who just watches courtroom dramas.
How does the defendant plead?
Guilty. Wait, what? Also, objection.
You object to what?
Erroneous.
Counsel, approach the bench.
Hey, can I get a whack at the gavel?
You wouldn't settle for just any lawyer, so don't settle for just any insurance. Get the real deal with State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I think we just got to continue to improve, continue to get better. I think all the rest of our games pretty much are against the top 10 teams in the league. So we've got to be better defensively. And look, we're going to face a form of resistance that we haven't faced in a couple games against SMU. And that's how it's going to be for the next month. So we've got a lot of work ahead of us.
Yeah, SMU's good. SMU not playing all that well of late. State is a road favorite tonight. Wolfpack have been great on the road, too. I said at the beginning of the year that I loved the makeup of this Wolfpack team. They got off to a rugged start outside of the league. It has been much better within the league. I would argue that the win against Clemson, being the outlier of a lot of their wins, which have really taken advantage of some poor teams, but you didn't win all of those. You lost to Georgia Tech. So, but State playing well away from home. I said this last week. I said it the week before. I'll say it one more time. We're sitting here today. I know State is 7-2. Duke is whatever and 0. If you told me that NC State was going to win the ACC tournament, I would go, I see it. I can see it. There aren't that many teams I think can win it. Honestly, I'll be surprised if it doesn't come from the 919 area code. I think one of those three teams is going to win the ACC. Could Clemson win? Yeah. Could Virginia win? Yeah. But I think the three best teams in the league are all right here. With that said, who knows? Who knows? State playing at SMU. They are a slight road favorite tonight. Ready for the Wall of Sound? Let's do it.
The Wall of Sound is a function of this studio.
There's no doubt about it.
State of the NFL address yesterday. Roger Goodell meeting the media and kind of putting the brakes on the assumed inevitability of an 18-game season.
Well, we're fortunate we have quite a long CBA in front of us, but I think we have not had any formal discussions about it, and frankly, very little, if any, informal conversations. I've heard people talk about it in the context. It is not a given that we'll do that. It is not something that we assume will happen. It is something that we want to talk about with the union leadership. As you know, they're going through a transition, and hopefully that'll get solidified this spring. And as they determine their priorities, we are doing the same on the ownership level so that when we get together, we can address these issues together. And we were going to talk about the pluses and minuses. When we moved from 16 to 17, we had that conversation. I think that went quite smoothly. But the challenges will be different here a little bit. And it'll depend on a lot of factors, including safety of the game. What other changes can we make to the game that are going to continue to improve that from a safety standpoint, but also a competitive standpoint? Should we have 2 buys? What are the roster sizes? There are a number of issues that need to be discussed with the players, and that I'm sure will be a focus, or at least a component of the next CBA.
All right, first of all, I don't believe the commission is being entirely truthful here. They're going to go to 18. It doesn't have to be before the end of the CBA. I believe the CBA gives them the right to just kind of add it. Now, it has to be approved, but it's always going to be approved because it means some, not a ton, but some more money to players. Players will get compensated for it. So there's that. The whole point of expanding the schedule is to grow the length of time the league dominates television. Because each week, even if you have like 4 teams on a bye week or 6 teams in a bye week, although I think it's mostly 4. So each week, if you have 4 fewer teams like in the mix, it's still another day, another week of NFL games, and that's more revenue. They could achieve more revenue simply by adding the other bye week now. Why do we need an 18th game for a second bye week? How about just put the second bye week in now? They could have done that before. They could have done 2 bye weeks in a 16-game schedule. I'm just saying. All right. Roger Goodell, on this season being amongst the most competitive ever.
It's hard to win in this league. And I think we saw the most competitive season, at least of my 44 seasons in the NFL, and a lot of seasons watching before that. You just see the excitement from our game. I think we had 70% of our games were within 1 score in the fourth quarter. We have 7 new division winners. By the way, both of those 2 are new division winners. And so, when you look at our game, I don't think it could get any better. We're going to try, and we're going to find ways to do that. But from a fan standpoint, I think we're hearing that, we're seeing that. I think it shows up in all of the metrics, from ratings to attendance to everything about the game.
Here's what's interesting. First of all, I don't think it's even debatable that this season we had a lot of turnover in terms of playoff teams. Remember, look at who didn't make the playoffs. The Lions didn't make the playoffs. The Chiefs didn't make the playoffs. I mean, it's in how many legitimately good Ravens didn't make the playoffs. We had a lot of great teams, great players who play for teams that are normally in the playoffs that weren't in it this year. So that turnover is good for the league, just like in any other league. That turnover would be good for the league. But we can confuse competitiveness with excellence. And the one thing that was lacking this year, certainly on the AFC side, was excellence. I think the AFC this year had a couple of very good teams. Now, I still think the Patriots are going to win the Super Bowl. But if you looked at their body of work, the Bills' body of work, the Broncos' body of work, like, you could tell the AFC was a down conference this year. And the NFC, every team had a flaw. Except maybe Seattle and Los Angeles, the Seahawks and the Rams. I thought those are the two best teams in the sport. I thought the 49ers were third on the list. But San Francisco was a shell of itself because of defensive injuries and even offensive injuries. You know, Trent Williams was not great all year long. They missed Brock Purdy for a good stretch. They were decimated at the wide receiver spot by injury. The fact that they kind of kept it together as long as they did is somewhat surprising. Anyway, moving on in the wall of sound. Here's Adam Schefter from ESPN reacting to Robert Kraft also being overlooked by the Hall of Fame Veterans Committee.
Surprised. This is the first year that Robert Kraft has been a finalist, and I think everybody expected that Bill Belichick would be a slam dunk case, get into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and when people saw that Belichick didn't get in, I think people thought Robert Kraft did get in, because essentially in these voting procedures this year, the Hall of Fame was asked to vote for 3 of 5 members from the coach, contributor, and player category. And that was the players, Ken Anderson, L.C. Greenwood, and Roger Craig, the coach, Bill Belichick, and the contributor, Robert Kraft. And we know Belichick didn't get in when he should have gotten in. And people just assume because Belichick didn't get in that then Robert Kraft got the support he needed to get in. But he didn't get in either.
Yup. We talked about it with Will Brinson. I get it. If Jerry Jones is in the Hall of Fame, then Robert Kraft belongs in the Hall of Fame. My whole thing is, unless you do things that clearly set you apart from other NFL ownership, I don't really get owners in the Hall of Fame. I'll say the same thing about commissioners. Like, the NFL has had 3 commissioners in the Super Bowl era. 3. But they've been doing this. This is Super Bowl 60. The current, Roger Goodell. His predecessor, Paul Tagliabue, who is clearly one of the 3 best NFL commissioners of the Super Bowl era. And Pete Rozelle, the man who absolutely invented the NFL. That guy belongs in the Hall of Fame. I don't think the other 2 do. That's just me. All right, when we come back, Dwayne Washington, head football coach at Heritage High. He coached Drake Thomas. Thomas will play for Seattle in the Super Bowl. We'll talk to Dwayne Washington about it next.
Because your fantasy football team needs all the help it can get, the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Get crazy, Canes fans. It's hockey night in Carolina. It's your Canes and Ottawa.
Lane cross, they score! Oh, what a time to see a ghost!
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 6:30. Puck drop at 7.
Ehlers, he finds Chatfield with room. They score! The captain! Right on time!
On your official audio home of Hurricanes hockey, 99.9 The Fan.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friend Gordon Miller, Miller Lending, Kildare Farm Road in Cary, and I'm going to try and do what Gordon Miller has been doing for almost 40 years. Because in 1987, Gordon had the idea, you're already paying a down payment, you're paying interest, why should you also have to pay a fee just to pay a down payment and interest? So, no closing cost. This is America. You should be allowed to keep your own money. And for the most part, in America, you can. Especially if you get your mortgage from Miller Lending. Don't pay closing costs. We're saving you thousands. And then when you refinance free of charge again and the rates come down, you save thousands and then you save hundreds. I'm an 11-time customer. I would not do anything 11 times if it didn't benefit me. Not paying closing costs, thousands in savings. Lowering my monthly payment when I refinance, hundreds each month in savings. Miller Lending, on Kildare Farm Road in Cary, an equal housing lender, NMLS ID 250-2146.
It's bow time.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $6.99.
Leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $6.99.
So crispy.
So crispy.
And juicy.
And juicy.
So much flavor.
So much.
Stop it. What are you doing?
What, you expect me to get this delicious deal and not say anything?
You're unbelievable.
You're unbelievable.
With a boldly seasoned leg and thigh, choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea, it's a deal so good it's worth repeating. So eat and repeat while it lasts. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Dine in, drive through, or tap your favorite delivery app and have Bojangles come to you. Satisfy your craving for flavor right now with Bojangles 2-piece dinner. 2 pieces of Bojangles dark meat chicken, your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and iced tea for just $6.99. That's right, just $6.99 for limited time at participating Bojangles. What are you waiting for? When you're hungry, it's always Bow time.
Breaking news. Multiply the Cash scratch-offs are here and have $1 billion in total prizes. Mike's live on the scene.
The word is out, and with so much cash up for grabs, everyone's getting in on this $1 billion. Grandma?
Out of my way, Mikey. Granny's on a roll.
You heard it here first, folks. Get in on $1 billion of wins with new Multiply the Cash from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 3.01 to 4.82. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
Joe Buck and John Smoltz welcoming you back to the City Center Convenience Mart.
Heather's moment has arrived, and you just hope all that training pays off.
Heather lays down her purchase, but Randy rings it up as slowly as he can.
Uh-oh.
Yep, she's looking at the cigarettes.
There's nothing good back there.
Heather's arm is in motion, but she just grabs the gum off the counter.
That's a slick move.
Even Randy tips his cap to Heather. Stand Up to Cancer and Raleigh wants you to reduce your risk for cancer.
Go to takeahealthystand.org.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Charlie's battery is struggling to start. Not ideal before the tailgate, so he goes to AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone,
where friendly AutoZoner tests his battery for free. Looks like he needs a new one, so he gets the Duralast battery.
Have fun and stay warm.
And he makes it to the tailgate early enough to get his favorite spot. Free battery testing and charging. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
One Adam.
Gold.
One Adam.
Gold.
I have his jersey.
Do you?
Yes.
Do you have any other jerseys or just to Jake Delhomme?
I got so many.
Do you really?
I go all the way back from Tim Biakabatuka.
Wow.
Yes. Cam, Luke, obviously, Smitty. So, yeah, I've got multiple. 6 or 7, maybe?
6, 7?
6, 7, 6, 7.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. We'll catch up with Dwayne Washington in just a bit. He was the coach at Heritage High School in Wake Forest when Drake Thomas played there. Drake Thomas will play for the Seattle Seahawks and probably make about a dozen tackles.
And that's why I was playing Drake.
There you go. we have Drakes all over the place.
I know.
We have a Drake from NC State, a Drake from North Carolina. One of them is going to win the Super Bowl. That is a guarantee, playing for opposite sides on the coin. All right, but before we dig in with that, we've talked about. I mean, the Olympics are coming up. They start next. Actually, they start Friday, right? I guess the opening ceremonies are Friday for the Milan Olympics, and I actually spoke with Sebastian Aho today. You'll hear part of that conversation in the Storm Watch in the hockey pregame show, and he admitted. Like, looking forward to it. He says, we have a job to do. We have 2 more games between now and then, so I'm not really thinking about it until these 2 games are over. But he has admitted, unlike last year, because I spoke to him right before 4 Nations, and I said, how much have you thought about it? And he said, not at all. He says, I'm not thinking about it until it's here. He admitted, this is different. The Four Nations was fun. It was entirely NHL driven, and it was great, great theater. The Olympics is different. These guys have wanted to be part of this for a long time. It's been a dozen years. The last time we had NHL players in the Olympics was the 2014 games in Sochi in Russia. The NHL players came back to the Olympics, I believe it was 98 in Nagano. It was actually, as it turns out, it was my first winter here in North Carolina after having moved down. I think Rod Brind'Amour was on that team for Canada. 2002, Salt Lake City. That was the first time that we saw I believe the U.S. and Canada played for the gold medal in Salt Lake City. Canada winning. Then 8 years later, in Vancouver, with I believe Sidney Crosby scoring the golden goal.
Probably.
That won, beating Ryan Miller.
That's a Sydney thing.
Yeah, Eric Stahl played on that team, by the way. And then 14, Sochi, Russia. Since then, no Olympics for the NHL guys. They finally got it allowed by the collective bargaining agreement, and they were thinking about it for Beijing during, 4 years ago, but it didn't happen. And COVID got in the way, but they were going to allow it, but it just didn't happen. And I thought, based on the fact that a month ago we really didn't have an arena, we had one, but we didn't. I thought, well, are we 100% sure this is going to happen? So it's going to happen. And I'm telling you this, if you have not really been into it, if you're somebody you're like in your 30s and you don't really, early 30s, and you love NHL hockey, you love the Canes, but you don't really know how good Olympic hockey is, it is what hooked me on the sport.
Oh, yeah. It's intense.
It is incredible. I wish that it were played on the international ice, which is a wider surface, but very, very, just very slightly shorter, but a wider surface. But it's not being played on international sized ice. It's being played on a smaller, narrow like the NHL, but also slightly shorter. I don't know why they messed it up, but they did. It's like international length, but NHL width. So it's slightly smaller than, and it's only like 1.5 feet or 2 feet at each end. I mean, you probably won't notice it, but maybe you will. I don't know. But it is just so incredible. And these guys who grew up, like for Aho, who grows up in Finland, they grow up watching their national team and like desperately wanting to be a part of it. And for his upbringing, he got a chance to see it. I mean, Aho's 26, 27 years old? It's probably 28. But still, 12 years ago, when he's 16 years old,
yeah,
right? He sees, those guys playing in the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
So they could not be more just proud to be part of it. It's going to be so much fun to watch. I love Olympic hockey. You know what you don't need to be a world-class downhill skier, apparently, Victoria?
What's that? I'm sure you need skis.
Well, you do. That is the first thing you need. You apparently don't need an ACL that operates.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Lindsey Vonn, 4 days ago, crashed in a training run.
Yep.
Ruptured her ACL.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to ski.
Yeah. Oh, I don't need that.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
If she completes a downhill run,
Yeah.
they should give her a medal.
Oh, absolutely.
Give her a medal. I don't care where she finishes.
Bump
If
everyone
she
else out.
completes the run.
Mm-hmm.
She's also 40-something.
Yeah, there's that.
It's just,
I don't know.
It's amazing.
It's also like the snowboarder. What's her name? She was injured too, but she's still going to keep playing. And
Chloe Kim.
Yes, Chloe. She's amazing.
She is amazing.
That's another one.
Yes. She had a separated shoulder.
Yeah.
And she's gonna I don't know what they call it. Ski, I guess. Board. She's a snowboarder.
Yeah.
So yeah, she is one of, if not the best in the world at her discipline.
Yeah.
The Winter Games, for me, I'd much rather watch the Winter Olympics than the Summer Olympics. One thing that Rod Brind'Amour did say today, because they asked him if he was pro NHL players in the Olympics, and he goes, "Yeah, I think these guys want to be a part of it. I did it." He says it allowed me to be roommates with Wayne Gretzky.
There you go.
How about that?
That's cool.
I got to be a roommate of
Put
Wayne
that
Gretzky.
on the list.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's it. It goes right on your resume.
Yeah.
He says, but we should do it in the summer. All right. Ice hockey, Summer Olympics. I don't get it.
Yeah. Doesn't really work.
Right. I don't get it. However, his point, I get. Now, there's really no way around it. Like basketball, they do in the Summer Olympics. Basketball is played at the exact same time hockey is played. So I would understand why Rod would say, well, basketball is doing it in the summer. That's their off season. It would be better for the NHL to do it. Here is the problem. At the end of winning a Stanley Cup into the middle of June, 7 weeks later, you're in the Olympics? That would eliminate players from playing because you've got players who are broken by the time the playoffs are over.
Mm-hmm.
And you would also probably lose a lot of players for the start of the season. If the NHL is willing to, accept those two realities, sure. The sad part is that there's really no other way of doing it. I understand what his point is, because we shouldn't shut the league down. 3 weeks of no NHL hockey. Every day. Now, yes, these games are all getting paid, are all getting played, so you're not losing revenue. But the Super Bowl is Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing in sports is that important between the Super Bowl, the Final Four, which is like end of March, beginning of April, and you are taking the first 3 weeks and you are lighting it on fire. For 3 weeks when there's nothing else that would captivate American sports fans. Regular season NBA is right there. I get it. And college basketball. But the NHL is ceding everything to that.
Mm-hmm.
And for us, because the Olympics are in Italy, these are all going to be afternoon games.
Yeah.
Right? The U.S. games are going to be played, I believe, at 3:10 here in the East.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Well, at least it won't distract us during the show.
That's true. They thought about us.
Yeah, exactly.
Like every USA game, I believe, is scheduled for 3:10 p.m. Eastern time. So that's great. But they're not playing any games later than that. So we're not even going to have prime time hockey.
Wow.
For 3 weeks. It's unfortunate, but that's really the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, all right, let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk some college basketball. Duke and Boston College tonight. NC State is at SMU. And then it's not a tournament, but after Duke is done with Boston College, Saturday, we have that little basketball game in Chapel Hill between the Blue Devils and the Tar Heels. Next.
Questioning goalie interference calls since day one. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
You know the only feeling sweeter than opening a college acceptance letter? Knowing that you'll be able to pay for tuition however far you go. The first step? Completing the free application for federal student aid, or the FAFSA for short. Find out how much money for college you qualify for. Grants, scholarships, and other opportunities are waiting. How far can you go? Find out at cfnc.org/FAFSA101.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. The Super Bowl is coming up on Sunday, and that's the end of the season. But FanDuel celebrating all week long, giving you a daily profit boost every single day leading up to Super Bowl 60. And today's 30% profit boost, which is not nothing, by the way, the rushing totals, rushing yards, over, under. Plus, you can always adjust to suit your own needs. Kenneth Walker, over 76.5 rushing yards? What about Drake May's rushing yard total? I'm going over with Drake May. Play your game with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of Super Bowl 60. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and maximum wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
If you pay your city or town for electricity, you live in a public power community. Public power communities provide electricity to families and businesses from a locally owned and operated system. Public power systems are not-for-profit and provide electricity at affordable rates with unbeaten reliability. Your local public power provider invests in your community, providing local jobs and supporting your local economy. Electricities of North Carolina is the energy behind public power. Learn more at electricities.com.
PBS North Carolina premieres an all-new season of the music series Shaped by Sound, featuring 13 North Carolina artists, including Grammy winner Anthony Hamilton, Rock Band Wednesday singer-songwriter Ben Folds, and NC Music Hall of Famer Jim Lauderdale, among others. Watch as they perform in the studio and share the stories behind their songs. Thursdays at 10:30 p.m. on PBS NC or stream anytime on the free PBS app. Learn more about PBS North Carolina at pbsnc.org. Practicing a championship way can happen 100% of every day, in the pool and when traveling highways. A law of sportsmanship includes taking the high road when going away and returning home. Buckle up your seatbelt in the front and back seats. Every seat, every time. Each time you click it, counts as a winning ticket. Demonstrate your championship drive through your safety practice, a freestyle by any measure. This message was brought to you by the Governor's Highway Safety Program and the North Carolina High School Athletic Association.
I had questions about my child's vaccines, so I got real answers from her doctor because we share the same goal, keeping her healthy and strong. Her doctor told me that keeping up with childhood vaccines, getting them at the recommended ages and sometimes together, is a proven way to protect her from serious illnesses, ones that can be prevented with vaccines. Have questions? Get real answers. Talk to your doctor. Visit vaccinesforkids.nc.gov. Paid for by NCDHHS.
Did you know Medicare fraud is costing us $68 billion a year? The NC Department of Insurance Senior Medical Patrol Program's goal is to reduce Medicare fraud, waste, and abuse. If you suspect any billing or Medicare fraud issues, we're here to help. Contact SMP today at ncshiip.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
This is Adam Gold.
So Mike Vrabel, the coach of the New England Patriots, they asked him about birthday cake, and he said there was only one cake qualified for his birthday cake.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
You want to guess what that is?
Is it vanilla?
No.
Oh.
Carrot.
I love him even more.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. Super Bowl 60 coming up on Sunday. We're actually going to move Dwayne Washington to tomorrow. We'll let you know what time that is coming up then. Something came up, but we have already been in communication, and he will join us tomorrow. He coached Drake Thomas at Heritage High School in Wake Forest. Thomas will start and make oodles of tackles for Seattle against the Patriots on
Oodles
Sunday.
is a lot.
Yeah, oodles, tons.
Mhm.
We can't even put a number on it.
Nope.
One of the things Roger Goodell talked about yesterday was the Rooney Rule. So for people who might not know, because you can't assume that everybody knows everything, the Rooney Rule is essentially it's a promise that teams in the National Football League for head coaching jobs, for coordinator positions, and for significant front office jobs, general manager, team president, that NFL teams will have to consider/interview minority candidates. So that could mean Black, it could mean Asian, Hispanic, Native American, regardless. But that is part of the process. And there have been 10 head coaching hires in this current cycle, none of which went to African American coaches. In fact, I think I have this right. The Rooney Rule is, I don't know how many years old, probably 20 some odd years old, 30, whatever it is. At the time the Rooney Rule was implemented, there were 3 coaches of color in the NFL. There are 3 today. And I understand how that looks. It looks bad, and it is bad. It's very bad. Because it says a lot about the league. But I'm not indicting the NFL here. I'm not indicting the head of the NFL here. I really believe that this matters to Roger Goodell. I think he sees a league that is whatever the percentage is now, 70% Black, African American. I think he sees that and says, man, I really wish that our most visible coaches more closely represented the league. So I believe him when he is trying to find, in many ways, a solution to this problem. And there are people who don't believe it's a problem. And in some ways, I can understand the point. You only should have to hire the best people that you believe can do the job that you hire them to do. You shouldn't have to hire somebody because they are of a certain race, gender. But the Rooney Rule doesn't demand that. The Rooney Rule doesn't demand that you hire. The Rooney Rule only demands that you consider. And here's what we all know to be true, even if it's not anything that is necessarily provable, that in many cases, I'll use the New England Patriots as an example. Last year, they were coached by Jerod Mayo, who was the defensive coordinator the last year under Bill Belichick. And Jerod Mayo was Black. They were coached by him. They had a terrible year, rookie quarterback, bad roster, and Mayo was fired after year 1. In many ways, he was fired because Mike Vrabel was available and had a very long, pretty successful tenure as the coach of the Tennessee Titans, who, for whatever reason, fired a good coach, a really good coach. But they did. So it's easy to just go, well, Mike Vrabel was available. Yeah, I got no problem with that. I feel bad for Jerod Mayo, but I got no problem with going, that guy's available? Yeah, we're going to hire that guy. Except that they knew who they were hiring. And yet, still interviewed 2 black candidates, Byron Leftwich, and I'm trying to remember the other candidate. It's escaping my mind, but that happens all the time. Byron Leftwich, who was the former offensive coordinator, I think, of Jacksonville, or maybe Pittsburgh, whatever it was. But they were never hiring those people. Those were check the box. So a lot of that goes on. That doesn't mean there's not benefit to being the check the box interview, because it puts your name into the mix. But the overall point that I'm getting at here is that there is and there can't be a mechanism that guarantees that the NFL's teams will hire a certain type of coach, a color of coach. You just can't do that. But it is a sign that there is, however subtle or in many cases not subtle, there is a level of institutional racism in the NFL that is undeniable unless you're cool with it. And that's what we're dealing with. NFL owners, white, like to hire who they're comfortable hiring. And we could sit here all day and talk about, Raheem Morris got a job. Yeah, Raheem Morris got 2 years with Atlanta. 2 years with Atlanta. Got fired again. He's now the defensive coordinator of the San Francisco 49ers because Robert Saleh is now the head coach of the Tennessee Titans. That, to me, is the issue with the NFL, is that you can't convince owners that they have to hire, that they should hire and consider, really consider, coaches of color. Can't convince them. It's their team. They bought these teams for billions of dollars, and that's who they're going to hire. And right now, the trend is hiring offensive coordinators, even though Mike McDonald looks like a pretty good hire for Seattle. And there are 1, maybe 2 offensive coordinators in the league that are black. Heck, we were just told that Eric Bieniemy sucked at his job by people, even though the Chiefs' offense hasn't quite been the same without Eric Bieniemy. That's what the NFL, that's the problem that the NFL has. And Roger Goodell would love for it to change. It would be, I think, one of the best things about his legacy if it were to change. But I'm not sure that it is ever going to change because you can't tell a whole bunch of billionaires who they can hire. All right, a brand new, like the soccer tournament came to carry what? This will be year 4, right? In year 1, year 2 begat the women's tournament. There were no changes to last year, but we have a change this year. There's a third tournament in year 4. Andrew Zoldan, who hosts the Inside the Tournament podcast, is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. We go from 1 bracket to 2 brackets, and the first bracket had the U.S. women's team in there. Also, the NC Courage were also in there. And then we go to the women's bracket. Now we have 2 years of that, and now we're going to, like mixed doubles. This is like tennis at this point. How you doing, Andrew?
I'm doing great. It's great to be back on the show. I'm excited to talk about the mixed event, and I'm excited to also kind of think about TST because it's going to be a lot warmer when we get to TST, as I'm sure everyone is feeling the same way there.
Yeah, it's not terrible today. We're in the upper 40s today, which is a heat wave based on what we have had. Look, it when we get there, we don't want it too warm though, because then it becomes almost uncomfortable. But what's behind the mixed? I know Hope Solo is going to have two teams. She's going to have her Hope FC in the women's bracket, and she's going to have a mixed team as well. She is going hard after $1 million.
Yeah, well, she's actually going hard after $2 million.
That's right.
Because if her team wins the women's event and the mixed event, she will take home, her team will take home $2 million in combined prize money. Something we've seen over the years of TST and just soccer in general is how, big and impactful these women's sides are becoming for, overseas clubs and up-and-coming clubs, even, hashtag United and Wrexham, who have really come onto the scene lately, especially Wrexham in the last, 4 or 5 years. And this is an opportunity for those teams to team up and actually be on the same actual team for TST in the mixed event. They will not be on the field at the same time. It will be women versus women and men versus men, but they will be on the same team for this event.
That is very cool. Who, as far as you know, whose idea was this?
Yeah, I mean, our internal team always has a bunch of great ideas, and this was kind of an idea that is just one of 1,000,
right,
that we always have in our repertoire that we want to roll out. And that's kind of a hint, wink, wink, and some other stuff that may be coming to TST 2026 this year. But it's really an idea that, started with the concept that, we already have all these incredible athletes on site in both the men's division and the women's division. Yeah. And now we can potentially pair them up because the mixed event, we are going to have teams that are coming in uniquely to play in the mixed event, but then we're also going to have participants from both the men's event and the women's event participating in the mixed competition. So if you're a Hope Solo fan, I mean, you are getting your Hope Solo fix at TST this year, and I'm pretty confident that she will not be the only one participating in multiple competitions.
Yeah, no, Wrexham's part of the mixed event too, right?
Yes, so they're part of the mixed event. As of now, they are only a part of the mixed event. They've had a men's team and then a men's and women's team for 2 years, and they're just focusing on, winning that $1 million on the mixed side this year.
And they're also focused on potentially getting promoted to the Premier League, which would be unprecedented for 4 straight promotions in English football. Would just be absolutely tremendous. The other element to this, and we're talking with Andrew Zoldan, who's host of the Inside the Tournament podcast, everything about the soccer tournament, which is coming once again and as a 4-year contract extension that kicks in this May at WakeMed Soccer Park in Cary, is that it goes from $2 million matches to 3. So that's good. It's always good to give people a little bit more bang for their buck when they come out to WakeMed.
Yeah, the first year at TST, we just had that one championship match. And, our matches are 2 shorter halves and then also our electric target score time to end things. And then last year, or the last 2 years, we added the 2, women's championships. But now 3 championships, that Monday night becomes, a much longer and awesome event. And when our tickets drop on February 24th for the presale, you're now able to secure your tickets to all 3 $1 million championship matches for Monday, June 1st. And you mentioned it. That's not a little bit of money being given out on Monday, June 1st. That's a lot of cash, 3 trophies, 3 big checks that we'll be proudly, displaying at the end of the event. And, last year we saw our trophy smash, which was a cool new tradition where the winning team smashes the trophy. We're hoping 3 trophy smashes this year as well. We love that tradition.
Has anybody thought about putting like $1 million in cash, just like on a table that like the teams can go and just grab when it's over?
I think there are cool ways that we can deliver the money. That is one of them. We've done some other stuff in our in our basketball tournament where we've sent the winners directly the money and they have it within seconds. So we're always looking into ways to deliver that money. But I don't hate the cash idea, but I'm worried, what if it's a little windy that night at Cary and all of a sudden a couple stacks are, going into the crowd? Maybe that would be a good thing, but I would be a little worried about, some money blowing away.
Riots. You would definitely get riots in that case. So what would be next? Would be like pets?
Did you say pets?
Pets, yeah, like dogs playing soccer, or I don't know, babies. What can we do next? You had hinted at something that could be coming in the future. We have men's, we have women's, we have mixed. What else?
Yeah, I mean, we have an ever-growing festival side of things as well, and we're hoping to, and we are going to definitely enhance that this year with some additional aspects that I can't share quite yet. But we're hoping, we want it to look like the last 3 years because it's been awesome. But we're hoping when fans come to TST this year, they're like, wow, this is a major step up, and we're excited not just about this year, but the years to come. But I don't hate the pets idea. Maybe like a little puppy bowl going before the championship on Monday. Everyone loves pets.
I mean, who doesn't love dogs? Can do anything, and everybody's a winner. Real quick before I let Andrew Zoldan go, Inside the Tournament podcast from TST, a mixed event. You can find out. Just go to TST. You can follow the soccer tournament online. Just do a Google search TST and find out all about it. Tickets go on sale toward the end of this month. It's a World Cup year here in the United States. There is a lot of soccer being played in the U.S. Now, we don't have any World Cup matches locally, so this is going to grab all the people that thought, man, I'd love to go to a World Cup match, but I can't afford the $1,200 ticket price or whatever that is. So what is the role of what the World Cup is likely to do, in the United States this summer? What role does that play in maybe capitalizing on soccer fever in the U.S.?
Yeah, well, I think, the casual soccer fan is going to be a lot more interested in soccer this summer as a World Cup, is coming here to the United States. And we're kind of looking at it as like we're kicking off the summer of soccer in America with TST. And we're hoping to have, some involvement. We're definitely going to have players in TST who have played in World Cups or are going to be going and work in the World Cup. So there will be, a lot of crossover there as well. I mean, you mentioned earlier both Hope Solo and the U.S. women, that team. I mean, there's a lot of people who have won the World Cup. Obviously, we're talking men's World Cup this year, but we have a lot of we put something out, earlier this year on social. There was all of the past TST participants that have participated in the World Cup. So we're expecting interest to be at an all-time high, and we'd obviously love to capture some of those World Cup fans. But you mentioned it; those tickets are astronomical, in price at the moment. And we want people to come to TST and have some fun and get ready for the baby versus baby championship on Monday, June 1st.
Yes, and the slogan could be come out to Wake Med Soccer Park in Cary, where the tickets are less than $1,200 a piece.
Yeah, exactly. You nailed it right there. I'm writing that down.
Andrew, thank you so much, man.
No, thank you.
Andrew Zoldan, Inside the Tournament podcast, TST, now a $3 million bracket. Men's, women's, mixed. Awesome. It's a great event, festival. It's just fun. Games are quick, and it always ends on a goal. Every match ends on a goal. All right, let's get back to we got a Hurricanes game tonight. I talked to Rob Brind'Amour earlier, and one of the first things I asked him was about the way they played on Sunday against the LA Kings, being for the first time in a while, at least 4, maybe 5 games, Carolina had not played their game. They'd won. I think they've got an 8-game point streak now. They're 6-0-2 or 7-0-2 maybe whatever it is in their last 8 games. They had this long point streak, but they hadn't really played all that well. You have to go back to the Florida game where they really played well. The game after the Florida game was Buffalo, and they played well against Buffalo, but man, if Brandon Bussey doesn't have an out-of-Bussey experience, they lose that game. It's not I think the final score was 2-1. They don't win that game 2-1. They probably lose it 4-2 or 5-2. Brandon Bussey robbed Tage Thompson of a hat trick, and Thompson had no goals. He had that many great scoring chances. But the Hurricanes had gone 2-0-2 in the 4 previous games to Sunday, including the loss to Washington in Washington, really playing mediocre at best. Saturday night in Washington was no good. And I remember the Rod post-game show from that where everybody was like, oh, man, he's going to come in here talking about how Tom Wilson should have been suspended or whatever. We'll get to that in a sec. And all Rod wanted to talk about was how poorly his team played. He basically said that's one of the worst performances that I have seen for a 60-minute game. And keep this in mind. The Hurricanes had a 3-0 lead in the game. Probably should have been 4. Mark Jankowski hit the post in what was really an empty net from pretty close range. But the Hurricanes, it was inevitable that Washington was going to get back into the game. They scored twice before the end of the period. They should have scored a third to tie it. And then it always seemed like it was a matter of time when, not if, the Capitals would draw even. And they drew even on the Wilson hit of Stankoven, which I really don't care that Canes Twitter hates me for this. I actually thought that the hit was, clean is not necessarily the right word. I thought the play was fine. I thought it was a hockey play, a tough one, and an edgy one, a borderline one. But I 100% see that to be within the rules of the game. I know you've all got your take on it, and I am telling you this. Had Alexander Nikishin delivered the exact same hit, there isn't a single Canes fan that would have gone, that wouldn't have gone, hey, man, part of the game. That's part of the game. It's a hard hit. It's a tough hit. It looks worse than it is. You hate the fact that Stankoven did he got opened up on it. He bled. You hate that. But that hit led to the goal. And that's really what bothered Canes fans, is that it led to the goal. And then Carolina lost in overtime. But the fact that they got to overtime was amazing and fortunate. Victoria, thank you.
Because your fantasy football team needs all the help it can get, the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. The Super Bowl is coming up on Sunday, and that's the end of the season. But FanDuel celebrating all week long, giving you a daily profit boost every single day leading up to Super Bowl 60. And today's 30% profit boost, which is not nothing, by the way, the rushing totals, rushing yards, over, under. Plus, you can always adjust